This is not a Cars video. And that's a very strange sentence for me to say. In fact, not counting live streams, this is the first piece of content I've made on my channel that has nothing to do with cars since the first month my channel existed back in late 2017. But recently, I've been thinking a lot about Thomas and Friends, and specifically about my old Thomas Wooden Railway toys. You see, if you know my interests other than cars, you probably know that I'm a big fan of Star Wars, a big Marvel fan, a big Muppet fan, and you're probably aware of my undying, unwavering adoration for Lady Gaga. But what you might not know is that when I was a kid, two franchises absolutely dominated my life: Cars and Thomas. As big of a Cars collector I was as a kid, I was equally as big a Thomas collector, maybe an even bigger Thomas fan than I was a Cars fan growing up. But while I continued to return to Cars over the years, going back to collecting again and again until making it a permanent part of my life in 2017, then starting this channel, that wasn't really the case with Thomas. I eventually sort of grew out of Thomas and phased out of it, and while I have had a few sort of return phases to Thomas in the years since in my life, I haven't actively collected Thomas merchandise since, I'd say, 2010, 2011. For people that are big Thomas fans and know the history of the show, the last, notable Thomas project I was around for was Misty Island Rescue. I stopped watching the show around that time. I just kind of grew out of it. And, a few years later, I found Thomas YouTube and Thomas YouTubers and Thomas collectors and reviewers and Thomas series. And, well, ever since, although I haven't been actively following the show or collecting the merchandise, I have tuned into a lot of Thomas videos every once in a while. And over the past few weeks, I've been going through a massive rabbit hole of videos from Thomas Wooden Railway, the channel, who I think is genuinely not only the gold standard for Thomas channels, but also one of, if not the best toy reviewers, toy-centric content creators that YouTube has ever seen. The stuff that this guy makes is genuinely so great, and I owe a lot of what I do as a Cars channel to him and to his work. And in watching his stuff, I just couldn't stop thinking, man, I have so much Thomas Wooden Railway stuff in storage from my childhood. What if I bring it back? What if I go through it? Now, this isn't the first time you've seen my Thomas stuff here on the channel. I did something very similar on a live stream back in 2023. In fact, it's my most viewed live stream. Knowing so many Cars fans are almost Thomas fans, really made me want to make this video. To have a definitive video where I go through my old Thomas collection with you guys, checking out everything, all my engines and rolling stock and all my track, building a layout, and kind of doing a more definitive video on my childhood Thomas Wooden Railway collection than what was over there on my live stream. It's going to be a bit more organized, but also very casual. I expect this to be a very long video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I've said several times now, I know a lot of Cars fans are also Thomas fans, so while typically I'm very skeptical about doing non-Cars content, I'm sure that a lot of people will be interested in this, and I can't wait to go through all of it. So as you can see, I've got a pretty big tub of characters and a pretty big tub of track. This is, I believe, my entire collection, with a couple of exceptions, maybe, possibly, potentially. I know Cranky isn't here right now, and I know a couple characters might still be in my room, I'm not sure. After I did that Thomas collection live stream a few years ago, I put a couple characters in my closet in case I ever wanted to use them in a Cars video. I thought it would be funny, and that wasn't really the case for most of them. I think I got all of them and put them back, but in case I didn't, well, funnily enough, you may notice from the carpet that this isn't my house that I normally film in. This is my grandparents' house that I use a lot of time for filming while they're away. They're on vacation currently, and I'm filming this video over the course of 2 days. It's currently Saturday night. Tonight, I plan on going through all of my characters, and if any are missing, I will double check my room before I return to finish filming on Sunday morning. I'll also be grabbing Cranky at that time, because it looks like I forgot that poor guy. He can never catch a break, can he, huh? But yeah, we're gonna move the track out of the way, and we're gonna start going through all the characters. I'm gonna move the camera a bit lower down, and we're gonna take a look at all these one by one. I am so excited, guys. I haven't looked through this in 3 years, but you know, that was one day when I did that live stream. They were just out for a couple hours. I haven't like thoroughly in-depth looked at these since 2013, 2014. So I am very, very, very excited. Okay, we got everything set up. We got the character tub here. What is this stuff? We should probably move it. Jar lids. Oh, okay. Jar lids. Wider. Jar lids. Okay. Again, this is my grandparents' house. My grandmother makes homemade tomato sauce. So that is what all this is. Guys, I have no clue what any of this is. Okay. All right. We've got our character tub here. Now, just to give you guys some frame of reference, in case you don't know, I was born in 2004. And like I said earlier, I stopped really being into Thomas in 2010, 2011. So pretty much all of my collection that you're going to see here is hit era stuff, late hit era, and then very early CGI era. So I'm just going to start pulling stuff off of the top. Starting off with these papers, actually. It looks like over the years I have saved some of my instructions. They're very ruffled. I very rarely followed the instructions as a kid. I mainly did my own layouts and stuff. But in case you want to see some of the specific sets, I have Water Tower Figure 8 set. Look at this. Yeah, this is like a classic starter set. I believe this is one of my first items. Copyright date on that is 2006. I have plenty of flyers, card backs, character cards, all stowed away somewhere separately. I believe the cards are probably in here. Yes, this is the 60th anniversary set. This was like look at how destroyed this paper is. This was like the set I had as a kid. Very, very, very cool. And this is one of the later ones from my collection, Jeremy, and the air-fueled set. Okay, we'll see Jeremy. He's around somewhere. I'm not sure where. Thomasaurus Rex. This was based on a book. I believe I had the book. Now let's just get started with the characters. Let's see. How do I do this? I'm gonna shift the box off to the side. And we're just going to pull randomly. I'm not even going to look at what I'm pulling out. So we're going to pull out a character, and we're going to look, and we're starting with, this is Daisy. If I remember correctly, hi, I'm Daisy. Sorry. Daisy was created here as a sort of limited edition item in roughly like 2007. Every year, in like 2007, 2008, 2009, they would have these limited edition characters return. And a lot of them are sort of significant side characters from the original series that weren't commonly being sold at the time. Characters like Oliver, Daisy, and stuff. And you know, like all Wooden Railway stuff. Insanely sturdy, barely damaged, been in storage for 10 years. We've got your classic magnets, great facial expression. Everyone loves a train that wears mascara. Daisy, we're gonna put you in the back. Let's pull out our next item. We have, oh, absolute classic, the Sodor line caboose. This is like, in my opinion, one of the most iconic Thomas toys. When I think of Thomas Wooden Railway, this is one of the first items to come to my mind. This absolute classic. I'm sorry, guys, I don't know the years. I believe they're written. The copyright is on the wheel. Yeah, see, but it's the year of the mold, just like with cars. I think that says 2006 maybe. I'm not going to be getting into the nitty gritty of the specific years versions. Again, they're all the sort of mid 2000s versions of everything. But yeah, Sodor line caboose, absolute gem there. Absolute classic. I'm going to just go in. I'm going to grab something. Okay. One of the later items in my collection, this is Charlie. This is a really, really well-detailed item. This was one of the first like CGI characters they introduced when the show switched to CGI. And yeah, he's very well designed. I know I have the Trackmaster of this guy too. Trackmasters are also in storage, but I don't have them with me here. Yeah, this is a really, really nice item. I remember not being the biggest fan of this character. I don't remember him distinctly. I just know his personality was likes jokes, and I don't know, that it's kind of an annoying character archetype he's a part of. We have my first take-along here. Or was it take and play when I was a kid? I'm not sure. I'm sorry. But yeah, I got a couple of these. This is... I don't have any sets, by the way, from that line, from the diecast line. But yeah, these were the Thomas diecasts. This is Fearless Freddy. Another character I wasn't the biggest fan of as a kid, but I never had his wooden railway. I just had his diecast. But, you know, maybe he is in scale, considering he's a narrow gauge character. We're going to stick the metal ones over here. There are not very many of them. But you'll see a couple throughout the video here. I already see another one. Okay, I don't know what this character is, guys. I've never seen him before. This is just your classic, typical Thomas. As much as I love the wooden railway, I've really grown a real appreciation for the art style of these diecasts. They are absolutely adorable. And with the new Thomas, sort of original Thomas returning later this year, they're making some new diecasts, which also look pretty good. But yeah, I really, really love the art style here. I believe my Thomas came from the Thomas and the Jet Engine set, so we'll probably see that Jet Engine a bit later on. We have, check this out, guys, eggs. Farm fresh eggs. It's eggs. It's eggs. I have some sort of Easter set. That I know. Actually, wait a minute. Oh, the rest of the set is right next to it. Okay. Look at this, guys. We have our first of probably very many cargo cars. This is specifically Egg Car. No time to explain. Get in the Egg Car. And we also have the Chicken Car. These two I kept together. Good for me. Good job, me, when I did a live stream looking through my Thomas a few years ago. Yeah, if I remember correctly, yeah, this made noise. But I remember it breaking when I was a kid. So yeah, we got your chickens in there, Gonzo's whole girlfriend lineup, and yeah, Egg Car. I remember I got that for Easter one year. Let's push these guys maybe a little further back. I'll do that after I cut the camera. I actually can't reach there. Okay, let's see. We've got our first very, very, very significant character. It's, oh, never mind. It's not the normal version. This is Percy. This is I think this is Coal Dust Percy, right? From the Adventures of Percy pack. I love the fact that they did multi-packs of a couple notable variants of one character. That's something I honestly, genuinely wish that more toy lines do. If we could get that for cars, so cool. And typically, all the characters in those Adventures of packs were exclusive. Yeah, so that is Coal Dust Percy. We're yet to see a normal main character variant. But we have a very interesting character up next. Certainly not a main character. Perhaps a character that may not have even existed or something. I don't remember. This is Proteus. I don't have very many narrow gauge characters. You'll notice that I don't have Skarloey or like Duncan. Duncan wasn't on shelves when I was a kid. He was brought back as a limited edition at one point. But I do distinctly remember wanting to get Proteus and getting Proteus. I remember what store I got him at. This is a character I have very distinct memories of. I don't really remember him much from the show, but, you know, he has a sort of mystical light. And the fact that he actually lights up is great. And guys, that light still works, which is crazy. So very cool character with an actual play feature. Very cool that some random wooden railway items will just occasionally have lights and sound features. I'm going to go and pull a character from a bit further back in the tub. It's it's just explosives. This is the Blasting Cap car, part of a set with a like demolition siren from I'd say a pretty infamous episode where there's like a fog car that just makes loud noise. We'll set this aside until we find its other half. We'll just leave it with the other guys, and hopefully we can find the other half soon. Let's see what we have next. It's Flora's Tram. This character comes from like a DVD where each episode introduced a new character very early on in the CGI series, maybe before CGI, where it was Was this season 12 or it wasn't fully CGI yet? I don't know, but I'm gonna cheat a little because way at the bottom of the box, I do see Flora herself, and I'm gonna scoop her up and grab her. Hey, there she is. This is Flora, another tram character. Very, very nice. Some plastic pieces here, some wood pieces, Sodor tramways, and we could connect her to the Sodor tramway car. I really, really like this piece. They've even got, is that like a staircase for people to go up to the second floor? What a great design. You'll notice, if you're not familiar with Thomas Wooden Railway, just how good they are at capturing these characters and details very well with very basic shapes. It's something genuinely so impressive. You know what else is impressive? The fact that I don't think I have a single Terrence who still has his treads. Terrence is a character I have multiples of, and as a kid, I was always mess around with the treads, and I'm pretty sure none of mine have treads anymore. What a strange character design. Who decided he should have that? He's got like a widow's peak. I wish my Terrence still had the treads. It was a very, very fun play feature, but yeah, that is Terrence. Absolute classic, iconic character. One of the quintessential Thomas characters. Of course, there were plenty of road characters in Thomas Wooden Railway, and for a long time with the toy line, you would get a road piece if you flipped over the track. Speaking of road characters, this is the Spotlight lorry, which comes with a big light. Once again, still works. Maybe not as strong as it used to be, but man, this thing was so cool as a kid. I remember doing so much. I remember having my mom film me playing with this, telling stories. Famously, I would never film myself playing with toy vehicles again. Okay, I'm going to try to grab some more guys from the back. We have Dumper. This, I think came with Rusty, right? And it carried cement. Very fun piece. I loved this as a kid. And, yeah, I mean, you would put different cargo in there. Different triangular cargo came with some different characters. Maybe we could set this aside and give it to Rusty. Yeah, we don't have to. We'll just stick it somewhere. Okay, up next we have this is the front half of Edward. Not all of him. We gotta wait for his tender. So Edward, we're gonna set you aside, buddy, and we'll come back to you. Here is a random take-along item. Take and play, whichever one. I'm sorry, I don't remember. Here's Annie. I don't remember having Annie and Clarabelle, but here is Annie. We'll see. Hopefully we find Clarabelle at some point soon. For now, we'll stick her over here. Should we zoom out a little? Maybe. You know what? We're gonna zoom back in. I didn't zoomed out. Looked a little weird. Okay, got another metal item here. This is Dennis, one of the characters that was so heavily promoted and really was created just to sell toys. One of those like one-offs, hit era one-offs. Dennis, Molly, Neville, you know him, you remember him, but probably more so from the merchandise than from the show. I remember wanting the toy of this character, but I'm not sure if I ever saw his episode as a kid. Okay, up next we got another take-along piece. Guys, I really don't have that many of these, but we're seeing a lot. This is a zoo car. This is the lion car. Trust me, I'm telling the truth. I'm not lying. That was terrible. But, yeah. Did this, like, do something when you press it, or is it just supposed to be like a bobblehead? Yeah, it probably made noise. It's got batteries. Okay. Well, it doesn't anymore. I don't think the zoo cars came with a character. But I could be wrong. Oh, this is one of my all-time favorites. I loved this one as a kid. This is Byron. Yeah, what a great design. What a great item. What a great toy. Ooh. What a great toy that just got stuck. Okay. Yeah, see, Byron's got those sick treads that Terrence has. And he's got this whole piece, and he's got, you press down, and looks like he's getting quite stuck, which is unfortunate, but yeah, he's got a very funny expression, but very accurate to the character in the show. You know, they brought back a lot of the construction characters a couple years after I stopped watching the show. And Byron, I don't think Byron ever returned, so I don't know why it's getting stuck, but Yeah, this is really fun if you could get it to work well. Yeah, look at him. What a funny face. A lot of road characters recently. And you know what? We're going to keep that coming because up next we have... Oh, did I forget Jack? Oh, no, here's Jack. I used Jack in a video a couple days ago in a Cars Randomness. I had him out. If you've seen my video where I review my Cars book I wrote as a kid called McQueen and the New Car, I put a random couple of Thomas items in the background of that video because when I was a kid, I used a bunch of Thomas stickers and put those characters there. Jack, Alfie, and Take and Play Rheneas, because that was the only Rheneas I have in my collection. Those are the characters I had stickers of that I put in that book as a kid. I did not find Rheneas before filming, so if you don't see him in this bin, just know that I do have a Take and Play Rheneas. But yeah, here's Jack. Much like Byron, he's got this fun play feature. Fight, 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 go, go, go! Yeah. Where was that during the State of Play the other day, huh? You announce more stuff for Marvel Tokon, and you announce a new Dead or Alive, but you don't have Jack v. Byron Dawn of Justice Simulator. Okay. Oh, look at this. We got a 2-for-1. Look. Oh, okay. Looks like the breakdown train here has caught on to Oliver. We'll start off with the breakdown train. This is, once again, not the complete item just yet. But, man, you know, the magnet concept. Absolute genius. And having trains, you know, that are cranes on wheels. Doesn't it rotate? Yes! Oh, it does! Oh, very, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, this is the breakdown train. One of my favorites as a kid. Because if someone derails, you could pick him up. And you can move him all around. Yeah, he's supposed to, or it's supposed to come with a little front car. So, and that holds its magnet in place so it doesn't get stuck to itself. Here's Oliver, beloved character. I was never a big fan of this model. It looks good, but the eyes I always thought were way too big. And the silver lining here around him is in the show, but I don't know, not the best. I think the CGI Oliver they did was very, very good. But yeah, Oliver, very well-liked character, and clearly mine was a very well-liked toy. You can see quite a bit more damage on him than a lot of my other items. He was a limited edition release 1 year, and yeah, had to pick him up. Very significant character. Also, a limited edition, I believe at the same time as him, is Scruffy, SC Ruffy, everyone's favorite character who got straight up murdered in that episode. Much like the dumper back there, this also came with triangular cargo. So yeah, very, very nice character with a lot of variants over the years, even though he, again, was completely wrecked. They love making merchandise of this guy just because he's a recognizable truck with a name and a face. I've already seen some of the 2026 Thomas series has leaked with him. Speaking of recognizable truck, this is the Giggling Troublesome truck. I think one of the most iconic Thomas toys. It works better than I thought it would. This was one that I pulled out after my Thomas dream a couple years ago and put in my closet because I thought maybe it'd be funny to throw in a Cars video somewhere. It, of course, came with a generic blank non-giggling truck, which I think should be in this bin. If not, again, I'll have to check my closet. But yeah, it's got that feature where it kind of bobbles as it rolls, as you can see, and you press down this tarp on top and it makes noise. I know they did another version of this several years later when they were doing CGI merchandise that yeah, had more lines. Just remember, none of this is going to be your 2013 or beyond merchandise like that. In fact, one of the last things that I bought merchandise for, or got merchandise for, was Hero of the Rails, which I have a lot of the initial characters from, including the 3 original Hero variants. This is Lost and Found Hero from the start of the movie when he's just hanging out, very sad because he's just been sitting for years. Of course, he's missing his tender. It's lost and will have to be found. So sorry. But yeah, very cool. Very, very good model. Very well made, well detailed. Really, really great looking. And we're going to have to... I'm going to set him aside off camera with Edwards so that we could reunite him with his tender at one point. Up next, oh, we got Toad. Do you know what happens to this guy when he gets struck by lightning? same thing that happens to everybody else. This guy completes our set of, I think they were 2007 limited editions, with Oliver and SC Ruffy here. Very, very great item. Absolutely lovable character. And being a break fan, he even comes with a little break, which doesn't really stop him from rolling, but it can get lodged there in the wheel, as you can see. We're gonna attach him to Oliver just cause, and you know what? We're gonna attach Scruffy to back of Toad. Shove them all back here. Oh, I'm having so much fun already just remembering making crazy long trains. Oh yeah. All right, let's grab another random item. We got Henry. Oh, again, absolutely super crazy lovable character. Who doesn't like Henry? The guy that BuzzFeed told me died. I'm gonna move some of these guys back so we can make more space, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff to get through. So let me just stand up for a second. I love doing videos like this, guys, where I can just kind of talk, hang out with you guys, and go through stuff. This is one of those good videos if you're working on something else. Just glance over and see what I'm talking about now, you know? Yeah. Have you ever fallen asleep to one of my videos? Let me know in the comments, because I'm not sure if I have a very put-you-to-sleep voice. If I want to listen to a video to help me fall asleep, I usually try to listen to something very soothing. Am I soothing? I was about to scream at the top of my lungs and try to wake up someone if they were asleep. That would be so mean. Here's Henry. Great character, great design, and great stuff all around. Again, we're going to need to start finding tenders soon, guys. Here's Emily's tender. Speak of the devil in this case being Emily's tender, apparently. The devil is tenders. All devil is tenders. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where Emily is. I can't really see over this bend. The chair I'm in is very low. So I'm just, again, randomly picking. I don't see Emily. Oh, here she is. Okay, here's Emily. Yeah, another great character design. I always loved the giant wheel in the middle, and also how she looks like she has hair, because girl equals hair. No, but Emily has so much personality packed into her design. She's like the definition of how to successfully add a new main cast member into your long-running series. And she's also our first engine to come with their tender intact at the same time, or roughly the same time. Here we have another metal one. We've got Diesel. As a kid, I never had Diesel. I never had him. I just had the metal one. That was the most notable exclusion in my collection. It looks like his axles have rusted, gotten kind of stuck. Ew, that's not good. A lot of the magnets have rusted a little, but they still function. I think that's rust. Not entirely sure. No, I think they've just gotten kind of fuzzy from, years and years of usage. Let's pull out another random one. Speaking of, we were just looking at the breakdown crane. Here is Harvey. This character has such a funny, memorable face. And yeah, I had hours of fun just clicking this around all day. Yeah. Another great character design. He almost kind of has the same hair thing going on as Emily. But yeah, this is a character where, again, pick people up, drive them around. Harder to do them with the breakdown crane because of that lack of a string. But characters like this are always so great. And Harvey's another character that I think very successfully folded into being a pretty prominent member of the cast of Thomas and Friends. So, sorry, Harvey. We'll put him back over there. Let's grab another one at random. It is Spencer. I grabbed him, realized he didn't have his tender, and then I just put my hand back in the bin and immediately pulled out Spencer's tender. So it's all good. Here is Spencer. What a snobby little guy. What a snobby, insecure little man. Spencer would definitely have a podcast if he were around in modern day. And, you talking about me? Me? Huh? Huh? Yeah, so, as you can see, Spencer here, huh? I'm sorry, I'm done. Spencer here, streamlined, of course. Very pompous character. Would have been cool if this were metallic, but, they didn't really do metallic items for this line. We have, let's go somewhere in the box I haven't pulled anything from before. Oh my gosh, what are the odds I randomly pulled out Metal Spencer? He's got a very similar face. He doesn't have his tender currently. I always loved how these guys had open backs. I always wished I had a figure small enough to fit in there. Yeah, these guys are chunky. They're heavy. I'm not sure where his... I almost said spoiler. Ty's been brainwashed from reviewing cars for 8 years. Yeah, I don't know where that's gonna be, but I guess we will hopefully find it pretty soon. Something cool about these metal items is that the magnets are actually dual-sided. You could attach them to both sides. So now they could be like staring really intensely, or maybe like about to kiss or something. Just two evil trains, you know, trying to make it work. Why does this Spencer look vaguely like Buzz Lightyear? Can you guys tell I'm recording this at 9 o'clock at night? I think I'm going a little off the rails. Hopefully we find Spender. I almost said Spender's Tensor. Hopefully we find Spencer's Tender very soon. Okay, up next we have a zoo car for the Wooden Railway range. These, of course, came with Ivo Hugh, an absolutely weird, random, nothing character. And yeah, we got a lion and a tiger. And inside... we got a monkey. Very finicky door right now. But I love how many of these were designed with that sliding door feature. And again, also such great toys. The little, like the small joy, the little pleasure of opening this up, right? And having a little hidden thing. You can't fully see it, but you know it's a monkey. You see the banana, and oh, pull it back. There it is, you know? Just such crazy well-designed stuff going on. Always. Up next, we have our first Thomas, and this is easily my favorite Thomas. Thomas was never my favorite character, but, you know, absolute ton of variants of him. And this is the 60th anniversary Thomas. This was my Thomas as a kid, my main one. I loved this item so much. Such an incredibly great facial expression. When I think Thomas Wooden Railway, I think of this guy right here. Up next, we've got, let's see, what can we grab? Hold on. I'm just trying to grab something random. Oh! Metal Clarabelle. Let's put her back here. Annie. After all this, don't worry if you lose track. I know not everything is on camera, which I'm sorry about, but I want to make sure we can focus on the stuff primarily in frame, the new items. I will be showing all these off together later on. We have another one of the zoo cars here. These are monkeys again. A lot of monkeys. A lot of monkeys going on here. It's just very funny to me how much of this is like, this should not be an open air car. Obviously, it's because it's a toy, you know, I'll attach it. I got the other zoo car back here with the lion. But like, guys, we have an open air egg car. Obviously, it's designed so that you could have like fun, crazy accidents and stuff. But it's just, there's something inherently funny, right? Oh yeah, it's the open air egg car. It's the eggs. All right, up next we got, oh, speaking of zoos, we're on a zoo character kick right here. It's a hippo. This is the Ivo Hugh hippo, and it's got such a fun feature. Look. Ah. 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 Why is it so squeaky? Jeez. Yeah, it's got this little trigger here to raise and lower the mouth, as you can see. Again, a lot of really inventive things to allow for gimmicks. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy squeaky. I hate it, but I love the hippo. Up next, we've got another Thomas. This is the birthday Thomas. Very nice. This guy came with a very, very cool accessory. We'll see if we could find it. Up next, we've got, let's see. I just saw something I want to talk about. Here it is. Okay. Yeah. 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 So, there used to be this craft store called AC Moore, and that's where I got almost all of my Thomas stuff as a kid, my Wooden Railway in particular. They had an incredible Thomas aisle. They weren't really a toy store, but, you know, they were a craft store. They had a ton of Thomas stuff, probably because, you know, model trains are a hobby, and these toys are high-quality wood, very crafty sort of deal. And they would do events occasionally, where you could paint your own trains. And my sister and I did it twice. And I created this guy right here. As you can see, he's actually a van, but, you know, in my little world, he was a full character. Looks like he had the number 19. He had some, I don't know if he's supposed to be wearing sunglasses or if these are his pupils. I think they're just his pupils because we have a sort of border around his face. Got a little face with a tongue sticking out. And I distinctly remember his name was Scooter because I had watched the Muppet movie the night before. Yeah, it says Scooter up top, see? So, very, very fun. I know I did this twice, but there's Scooter for you. Oh, finally, I see Edward's tender, so we could hook Edward up and finally have a complete Edward. Well, you know what? I'm going to move Thomas Fearless Freddy over here. We're going to start a new row with Edward over there. Okay, up next we have Molly. Molly, another one of those sort of one-off hit characters. Molly's got a whole weird thing where I think they had two different faces for her in the show. But she's a very striking color, this very stark, bright yellow. And yeah, very good character design. Molly is someone I remember wanting for a very long time, and I didn't get her until later, and I don't think I ever saw her episode. But, you know, that was the power. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, Molly's got the force. That was the power of how good Thomas Wooden Railway was, and also the power of being a kid wanting to get toys. You would want ones of characters you never saw. Or maybe characters that you should never have seen. Here's Billy. What a horrendous character design. Look at this. I hate it. Billy's got some dust on him. Billy is kind of, I know, infamously hated in the fan base, but when I was a kid, Billy was just, you know, the new character they were introducing. And you gotta hand it to them. They did give all these characters very distinct designs and distinct colors. Molly, yellow. Billy, orange. Dennis, gray. Neville, black. Speaking of Dennis, here is the wooden Dennis. We're on a new hit character roll right here. But yeah, there's Dennis. You already saw Dennis, so not much to say with him. All right. Up next, we've got... Is this regular Percy? Hey, it's regular Percy. Hey there, regular Percy. What a great classic character design. Stick him right next to the 60th anniversary Thomas. All right. Up next, ooh, we got the Cherry Picker, another favorite of mine. I wish we had a guy that could fit in here. But this, of course, came with the light truck. And look how high you could raise it. Raise it so high, it's not even in frame anymore. But yeah, these were so fun. It swivels, too. We could just call this video Ty Gushes Over Toys He Used to Collect. Yeah. You know, most things that... here we go. There we go. I just wanted to put the bucket in place. You know, most things that I collected as a kid, I still do. Star Wars action figures, I still collect them. I now have over 500. Cars, of course, I obviously still collect. But the Thomas stuff is in a very unique position, right? Where I stopped and it's been in storage. So seeing this again, it's really bringing back a lot of memories in a way. A lot of other things I collect don't. So up next we have Diesel. I know I said earlier that I didn't have a Diesel growing up. But in 2013, 2014, I got back into Thomas thanks to YouTube, as I was saying earlier. Started getting into Thomas YouTube. And I decided to go out and buy Diesel. I bought Diesel, and a couple weeks later, I bought like a track expansion pack. And those are the most recent Thomas things that I bought. So, of course, by 2013, Diesel had a very, very crazy happy face. But, you know, at the very least, I did get a Diesel. Even if it wasn't ideal, I finally found a version of this character and added him to my collection. He's doing the Spencer thing. Yes, you called? That sounds like that won assist trophy in Smash Bros. From Kid Icarus. You called? Her, you know her. You know the one. The one that hits on Pit. Here we got Toad. Again, this is Metal Toad. I have way more of the metal ones than I thought. But, yeah, Toad. Okay! A lot of random Nintendo references today, guys. What are we doing here? Let's see what we got. Okay. Pull out something random. Kevin. This is Kevin. More recent character, at least in my eyes, from added in for Hero of the Rails. This guy, of course, works at the Steamworks, and doesn't look very much like the character, but they have a long history of sort of strange Kevin designs. Kevin, one of the few side characters to return for the 2022 Wooden Railway line. Yeah, he, of course, is a road vehicle, but once again, always fun to have characters with hooks that you could use to move around your other characters. The space here is starting to get pretty crowded, so I'm going to move my chair over. I'm sorry for how horrifically squeaky it is, but I'm going to move my chair over, and we're going to move the camera over in a little bit to give us some more space. But first, let's grab a couple more characters. Oh, all right, I found two right on top that perfectly fit together. Of course, we got Bill. And, of course, we have the character that goes so well with Bill, Fire Train. Okay, fine. I got Ben. Here he is. The Thomas series, for whatever reason, loved its twins. Bill and Ben, Donald and Douglas. You want to maybe count Mighty Mac. And again, just classic, great characters. Love these guys so much. They are so fun. And another very fun character is one who's got a super fun play feature. It's Diesel 10. Now, I only really knew Diesel 10 from the toys as a kid. He wasn't in the show. I never saw Thomas and the Magic Railroad, but I knew, you know, he was around. I knew he was evil. I tried to watch Calling All Engines as a kid, but I was actually scared of Diesel 10, and I didn't see the scenes with him. But of course, he's got his claw here, which has a great play feature. And Diesel 10 is another character that I can distinctly remember picking up as a kid. Another one I distinctly remember buying. Now, a couple minutes ago, I mentioned the Birthday Thomas. And the cool thing about Birthday Thomas is he came with a very special car that you could put your own name on the bottom of. It came with some letters and... See? How cool is that? I wonder how old I was the year I got that. I know I got that a bit later on in my Thomas collecting journey. I mentioned the Thomas and the dinosaur set earlier. That is how I got Stepney here. This guy looks nothing like he did in the show, but always good to have a character like this. I always thought that Stepney was a narrow gauge character as a kid. I just always associated him with them. I don't know why, but there is Stepney. You know, I had a couple Thomas DVDs as a kid, and some of them came with exclusive characters that I didn't recognize because they were just from the book, specifically the later books. I have all of the Reverend W. Awdry. I have the big collection of all of his books, but Frank here, I think, comes from his son's books. Is he from the Arlesdale Railway? Because I didn't even know what that was as a kid. If so, I think he's an Arlesdale Railway character. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, though I'm sure you probably already have. Okay, up next we have... Yep, here is my other Terrence, who's got a... He's got a little bit of tread. He's got, like... 1/3 tread total. Oops. Whoops, sorry about that one. Okay, up next though we got, this is the other character I made. I don't know if this one came before or after, but, not a very good design. I talk often in my videos about how I've, you know, made a comic series in my free time for years. It's really my main hobby outside of YouTube. I've designed, you know, thousands of characters at this point. But hey, we all got to start somewhere, right? Let's move over for now. And we've got a just stock, standard, regular Thomas. Got a couple of him from different sets. Very good design. Looks like the character. Not much I can say. I'm going to stick him in the little section we got off screen. Just take up, you know, all the spots as I can. Okay, now I'll look at the fire train. If this were the race and rescue train, everyone would have just clicked off the video, so it's a good thing it's not. This is a... Well, it's certainly a design for a fire vehicle with the big hose. But once again, it's got a swivel here. And, yeah, very cool. Interesting just how many faceless characters you have. They really did a lot of faceless vehicles. I wonder how they sold compared to other types of characters. This next character was limited edition alongside Daisy. This is Derek, of course, the character whose back explodes, as replicated in the toy. Hey! Always, really liked this character. Yeah, what a great one. He's got a little bit of damage on him, but yeah, what a fun play feature to recreate the episode. Or is that other Diesel that looks like Derek? I don't know, guys, because there is another one that looks similar to him. Maybe they got them confused while making the item. I don't know. Another item I distinctly remember picking up. Very random one, but this is the hand car. Very fun item to have for a railway. And it moves while you roll. Unfortunately, again, you don't have people pushing it. There are definitely some items here that would really benefit from having some human characters to join in on the fun there. I'm gonna move the metal ones for now. Now, of course, when they did Thomas Wood, horrendous toy line, as we all know, they did do that. They put a very heavy focus on human characters. A bit too much focus on human characters to the point where, I don't know, like, I understand that with the train, with trains, you know, they're picking stuff up and moving people and moving things, but, you know, wasn't a very smart decision. Nothing they did with that toy line was a smart decision. We have yet another metal item here. We have the Sodor Museum car. This came from a dinosaur-themed pack for this toy line, and it was one of these very cool items they did for Take Along, Take and Play, whatever, where you open it up, you close it, you open it up again, and what's in there is different. So you got signs, you got dirt with fossils in it, as all museum cars are known to have, and you got mining supplies. Obviously on the inside this is just a track, but it works so seamlessly. Oh, that time it didn't. But it works so seamlessly. It's something you never have malfunctions with, even if I go super fast. Again, we're talking very well designed, cleverly made toys here. What do we have next? We have, it's Donald and his tender, which is as long as him. All right, of course, one of the Scottish twins. Hopefully, we could reunite him with his brother Douglas soon. You can see this is one of the sort of older style characters that they kept selling even after the early 2000s redesign. Something I never really noticed as a kid is that Donald, Douglas, Duck all had different eye designs. Up next, oh my gosh, we got another twin, but it's the wrong one. We got Monty of Max and Monty fame. Always love the play feature on these guys. Boop. Just, yeah. I think I remember it bothering me as a kid that like regular cargo cars don't really fit in the back here. There's not really much you could give them, but yeah, so much fun here. So much fun. I'm having a blast going through these, just like how Thomas blasted through a window. This is Thomas Comes to Breakfast. I remember this being one of my all-time favorite items as a kid because it was just so freaking weird. Yeah, one of many episodes, stories where the plot was character X crashes through Y and causes Z. Gordon crashed through a building. Duck crashed through a barbershop. Thomas crashed through, I think, was it the station master's house while he was having breakfast? Up next, we've got Mavis, one of the most significant female characters in the series. Another one who didn't receive that redesign. Always loved the design for Mavis. Very distinct. Another pretty significant member of the crew there, working over at the quarry. Here we have a second metal diesel. Yeah, so I have 0 wooden, well, I have the CGI one, but as a kid I had 0 wooden railway diesels, and I had 2 metal ones. So we'll put him with the line of metal trains in the back. Up next, we've got Smudger here. Another character I distinctly remember buying. I think I chose this over Fearless Freddy. Funnily enough, Smudger, another character I did not recognize from the show. This is one from an early episode that they didn't make until later on. He was a narrow gauge engine, and I don't think I ever saw his episode as a kid, but now I know that he was turned into a battery. Yeah, I know people joke about how dark Thomas is, but it's honestly insane some of the crazy stuff they did to these characters when you remember that in-universe they are, you know, fully alive, sentient characters. That dude just became a battery forever, so yeah, don't misbehave. One year, the limited edition returnees were Peter, Sam, and Sir Handel. I think that was maybe 2009, 2008, I'm not sure. One year was Daisy and Derek. I think maybe that was 2008. But yeah, I don't think I ever got Sir Handel, but I did get Peter Sam. Love that funnel. I'll always remember my dad as a kid loved the line where his funnel like makes the weird noise, and Duncan goes, "Oh, did you step on a duck?" I remember he always distinctly loved that line. Another standard Thomas here. Nothing else to say. Yeah. Here you've got another diecast. This is Bill. I'm not sure if I have Bill and Ben. Maybe I just have one or the other. I know I have some weird things because I just got random sporadic metal items, most of them as gifts from my parents. Again, I never got a playset. I don't have any track for that line. Oh! It's the fog car. Still going. Yeah, so in the episode, this infamously makes a really crazy loud noise. Foghorn car. And, well, it doesn't make the noise from the episode anymore, but it certainly makes a noise. I'm starting to remember pulling this out during my live stream and it making crazy long noise there too. So I'm sorry, we'll have to deal with that for the next little bit. That came packed with the ammunition car that we saw way earlier on in the video. I'd connect them, but the ammunition car is connected to other stuff now. It's gone to see other people. Percy! Chocolate covered Percy. It's chocolate, guys. Get your mind out of the gutter. Yeah, this is from the... It's still going. Classic episode, Percy's Chocolate Crunch, where, again, character X crashes through Y and causes Z. It's getting louder. It's gonna explode. Yeah, so he crashes through a chocolate factory, and another iconic crash from the show. Up next, we're gonna grab, let's see. I never should have pressed this button, guys. It's still going. Looks like we're about halfway through the characters here. This is insane. I'm so sorry. Guess I shouldn't have pressed that. Okay, we got Douglas here. Alright, here's Douglas. And his tender. These two have basically the exact same face. They're the same character twice. But now that they're together, we could pull out our next character. Let's grab... Here is Hero. This is his regular incarnation. What a beautiful, striking character design. This, I know, is really a beloved fan favorite character. A lot of people really, really like, and I don't blame them. Great character design, great story. Incredible voice work. I hope I find his tender soon. Here we have a tender without an engine. In fact, two versions of that tender without their corresponding engine. It's James's tender and Take and Play James's tender. This is gold, which means it goes with a light up Lights and Sounds character. That's what they would do for the Lights and Sounds metal ones. And oh wait, right at the top of the box, I see both of them. Hey, now luckily for our ears, James's batteries are dead. But yeah, to differentiate, they made the talking ones have... I think it's almost done. Oh, it's done. Watch it restart in a second. I'm at my grandparents' house. My grandfather is a carpenter. I'm sure he's got a screwdriver if we want to take the batteries out and just shut it up. Yeah, good looking metal James here. And look, we found regular James as well. All right, look at these two. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. Slowly but surely making our way through our significant characters, the Steam Team, as no one ever called them. Really tried to make that one happen. Oh, sorry. I had the fire train over by the metal ones. Just kind of set it aside for some reason. Another character from Hero of the Rails, and a Hero of the Rails tender. Hero's tender. Hook it up to Hero. And, yeah, we got Victor. Easily the most, I'd argue, the most significant character added in the entire CGI series. Victor is very significant. He runs the Steamworks, something that I'm shocked the show never really showed until pretty late, you know, in the game, in the CGI series. Yeah, we saw where the engines go when they got to get fixed up. Run by Victor, this little narrow gauge guy with an absolutely great accent, killer accent on that guy. And yeah, very cool. And he's a character where after I stopped watching the show, they came back in. They gave him lore, they gave him stuff to do, you know, they gave him a lot. Here's another regular Thomas. I know Blue Mountain Mystery, when they brought in the other narrow gauge engines, they brought in his backstory with Luke and stuff. I never saw that, but I know that's in there. I finally found Take and Play / Along Spencer's tender, so we could get that all together. And again, I'm just holding some of the metal ones off on the side for the ones that no longer fit back there. But while we're at it, I just saw someone I wanted to talk about. Oh, well, while we're at it, completing items, here is the front car for the breakdown train. So let me pull the breakdown train off from where it is, and we'll find someone else to take its spot, because now it has that front car. And as you can see, you could hook it up, and yeah, it's magnet. It's designed so that the magnet really rests in the perfect spot for it, so that it can stay nice and elevated up there. Works super, super well. We'll connect it to James, because that guy's always screwing up somehow. Oh, this is who I want to talk about. Max! Another set of twins complete here. Max and Monty with their very cool dumping feature. They should meet my good friend Dumper. Sorry, Hero. We'll set you back up. There we go. Okay. Sorry if my voice is a little more distant. I'm just standing currently so that I could get to some of these other characters. We have up next here the cargo car, just blank, sort of dark red cargo car. Everyone's got a ton of these if you collect this line, especially in later years after I stopped collecting. Basically, every set would come with Thomas and a cargo car. And while we're at it, I do see another one. This one is in all black. I wish I could tell you guys where they came from. I can't. The egg car, you know, is labeled egg car. That one we could identify. Not the case here. What's next? We have a very small piece of cargo. I think this goes with a very specific character who's much larger and thus is with the track pieces, I believe. Let's see. Oh, we've got Clarabelle. I think we already have Annie out, right? Do we have Annie? I don't see her. Okay, maybe not. But we got Clarabelle now. I always loved how Clarabelle was designed with reverse magnets. So she could face the back just like she does in universe. Great design there. Okay, we've got Alfie here, another character that I brought out for McQueen in the new car. He has full articulated swivel going on there, articulated arm. He's got a little dust. Yeah, this one was on my floor for a little while after that video. I think it just stayed there. I keep a couple cars off of the side of my Radiator Springs display that I just haven't used, and Alfie just randomly became one of them. But yeah, another character with, again, such great design, such fun playability. Anything with an arm or a hook or anything, destined to do well. Let's see here. Ooh, we got another personal favorite of mine. This is Jack Frost Percy. I remember being kind of scared of this episode. Oh my gosh, this is hideous. Oh, all the rubber like yellow, dude. This is like lava Percy now. This isn't Jack Frost Percy. This is the Heat Miser. Oh, yuck. Oh my gosh, it looks gross. But honestly, it looks kind of sick. I was very excited to see this one again, but we're going to put it in the back. This is part of the Adventures of Percy set, alongside Percy's Chocolate Crunch and Cold S Percy. We'll sneak it off in the back off camera. Let's see what's next. We have... Sorry about that. That was not a train. That was my grandmother's sauce lids. We have... Oh, I see One Piece. I see One Piece. Yeah, but Luffy hasn't yet. I see one piece of a set. That's jet fuel. And that should go along well with the jet engine in here somewhere. I thought I just saw it, but I guess we'll have to come back to it. This goes with my Thomas. Take and Play Thomas. From one of my favorite episodes, Thomas and the Jet Engine. Hi Gordon, bye Gordon. Another thing we quoted all the time when I was a kid. Here's Annie. Annie, I'm sorry. I thought you were already out. Let's get you and Clarabelle here. And do we have another Thomas to pull them? I don't think so, but that's okay. They could be here in the front like the absolute queens they are. Thank you. Here's the jet engine. It works. No way. I guess not all the way. It's working less and less. But this would go for a very long time. And yeah, they also had a set like this for Wooden Railway, but I never got it. This went with, I think, just my regular Thomas. Shame they didn't give him a unique facial expression, but that's something this toy line and Wooden Railway both did not do nearly as much as they should have. Here is the Fossil Car, another dinosaur-themed item here from the Thomasaurus Rex set. Weirdly rubber piece, and then the dinosaur's kind of a harder rubber, soft plastic thing. Maybe it's a hard plastic, I can't quite tell. But yeah, this came with Thomas, regular Thomas, I think, and Stepney. Maybe a cargo car or something. I'm not entirely sure. Up next we have... Oh, it's Boko! Yeah! Boko is such a great character. Very prominent in the early years of the show. And then he just completely disappeared without a trace. I loved Boko as a kid, but he wasn't being sold anymore. So my dad bought me one off of eBay. Early days of eBay, and my dad was obsessed with it. He will randomly get obsessed with like new popular stuff and not experience it often. Like he was obsessed with the concept of self-driving cars, but just to make fun of them. Yeah. So I mean, why would you not make fun of self-driving cars, right? So here's Boko, and he got me him, and he ended up being on an international card with an international character card. But yeah, Boko, great character. We'll put him right here alongside Alfie. Annie and Clarabelle. Looks like Alfie's just reaching out to grab James. Still looking for Hero and Henry's tenders. But in the meantime, we have Metal Oliver, another character I don't remember having, but I guess it makes sense with Toad. Seeing Toad earlier. A really, really great version of the character. I think that looks a lot better than the Wooden Railway one. Up next, oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. We got the recycling cars, and they're stuck to a piece of recycling from a playset we'll look at later. Recycling cars! Oh, these are some of my favorites as a kid. Look at it. Look at this dude. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. And he came with the stack of tires. Recycling cars. He's called recycling cars. Plural. Recycling bins here with cans, paper, and bottles. Very nice, because this one's also educational. It tells you what to recycle. And yeah, this works really well with the Recycling Center playset, which I actually do have one of a couple of destinations that I've got. Now, funny thing with this character, this stack of tires, I use this accessory all the time. This is going to sound so dumb, guys, but when I was a kid, I'm going to move some of these characters back a little so we got a bit more space. But when I was a kid, I would take these tires, right? And I would take Thomas and I would put these tires. Oh my gosh, I just got like strangely emotional from seeing this again. Welcome back, all you crazy things from my childhood. Wow, I'm sorry, I'm kind of having a moment here. Something this silly. And Thomas would suddenly fly, and he'd be like a superhero. And it was always a joke, but yeah. Go around like that. I'm sorry, I'm being so genuine for parts of this. Not that I'm usually not genuine, it's just I'm usually so sarcastic. All right, let's see. Can I get... Once again, just like with James, I found a tender for a lights and sounds character and normal one. And luckily for us, they're both right next to each other. Welcome to the collection, Gordon. I did not remember having that Gordon, the lights and sounds Gordon, but there he is. Again, really bulky, really hefty. Honestly, guys, before this video, I started thinking of going back and buying a few more Thomas Wooden Railway items. And if this video does well, and if you guys like it, and if I could, justify the expensive prices for these, maybe I'll go back and buy some new items. Maybe. But I almost kind of want to go back and collect more of the die casts. But with the new Thomas coming out, I'm thinking of maybe getting some of the die casts for that and doing a video similar to my Transformers video where I try a different toy line. But yeah, here's Gordon. Face doesn't look the most like Gordon, but Gordon is a very imposing character. Very, very big engine, as he should be. Slowly but surely building up a lot of our main cast here. Please just give me Henry's tender. Where is it? Where is Henry's tender? I don't know. Another character we got here is Iron Bert, of course, of Iron Airy. And Iron Bert, there he is, working at the Iron Works, of course. Pretty scary character sometimes. I'm not sure where Airy is. I'm pretty sure he was one of the characters I pulled out for potential future video usage. But I don't know why I would have pulled out one and not the other. But if he isn't here, he's probably in my room then. Up next, we've got a character that goes alongside the fire truck. This one is called the fire truck. This came with a little fire station set that we'll be seeing later on in the video. And it's got a big spot in the back to fit this whole deal. A whole extendable hose, which of course could be reeled back in. Unfortunately, this was completely static up here, but you could just roll it back up. And you could also attach it to the front of the fire train here, if for whatever reason you needed a secondary hose. So that's a pretty cool feature. I am once again running out of space. Now that we're almost done with the characters, maybe I could put the bin on the floor, but not before getting Henry's tender. And look what's right next to it. Lost and Found Heroes tender. Now, Now we're getting somewhere. All right. Let's put the fire truck there. Put Hero and his tender together. And Henry and his... Welcome on in, Henry. It's good to see you, buddy. It's good to see you. We're going to move the camera over again. Apologies for the old dirty stove in my grandparents' basement. Yeah, I'm really looking for Iron Airy. I don't think he's here, which is annoying because it means I'm going to have to dig through a ton of my closet. Why would I have pulled out Airy and not Bert? Oh, well, whatever. Up next, we have one of my personal favorite characters, the metal version. This is Murdoch. I really like this guy. One of my favorite character designs in the series, and I love that he's this sort of gentle giant, this big character who just kind of wants quiet. I really, really, really like Murdoch. And honestly, you know, very, very relatable character. And look, not far behind is his tender. Let's hook those together. I'm not sure which direction that goes. I'll have to double check when we get his wooden railway in here. Speaking of which, here is Murdoch's tender. Will the real Murdoch please stand up? Where are you, buddy? Hey, here he is. All right, Murdoch. Very, very nice. There is your complete Murdoch going on. Let's move him back there. And we are starting to come to the bottom of the bin. Arthur, another larger character. I think it was introduced around the same time as Murdoch. No, Arthur, please. Arthur, I couldn't sleep. Sorry, that's a deep cut. I think I'm the first person on the internet to see Arthur, the character from Thomas and Friends, and start quoting the one clown from the Joker movie. Why am I on... That's another random running joke. Another thing my dad and I quote all the time is the clown from the Joker movie. Because he kills the one guy, and then the other clown, Gary, he goes, "You could go, Gary." And then in the sequel, they interview Gary in court, and it's like the longest, most boring scene ever. And like, I think that movie's kind of overhated, but it does a lot of dumb stuff. And hold on, guys. Here is the dinosaur car. Another metal one. It's like 90% plastic. Here's a little dinosaur prop for it. Very cool. Yeah, and the Joker starts doing this weird, random New Orleans accent. Here, we're going to start building a character who has several pieces. Here's Rocky. So this is Rocky's front car. And we got to find Rocky's back car and Rocky. Hey, they're all close together. Good job, me, when you put this away after doing your stream. Rocky's back car, which means here comes Rocky himself. Yeah, so this one clown, he comes back in the sequel and they interview him. And the Joker has at this point fired his own lawyer. And he goes on this whole tirade about Gary. And then Gary goes, "Arthur, I couldn't sleep." So, there's Rocky. These are the dangers of me making an unscripted, well, all my videos are unscripted, but a completely like unedited casual video late at night. But hey, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm having a lot of fun here talking with you guys. Rocky basically given the breakdown train a face, although I know they did that later, right? If the adventure begins. They just straight up give him faces. Yeah, so I just don't think Iron Airy is in here. I'm sorry I'm so hung up on this. It's just bothering me because I got to go look for him tomorrow. But it's okay. I'll find him when I go and find Cranky. Here is Metal Ben. So he does exist. Okay. Put him with... We're even running out of space with the metal ones. I should give these guys their own separate bin. We've got another cargo car here. This one in green. Okay. Oh, we got Rosie. Rosie, who now has a far superior... Hold on, guys. This is crazy. We have 3 Rosies right next to each other. They're all right next to each other in the box. We have Rosie. We have... Because I was thinking, like, wow, it's weird I haven't seen any Rosies yet. We have Christmas Rosie. And we have Lights and Sounds Take-Along Rosie, whose light still works, but her sound is busted. Ah! It worked! That didn't. So one's completely shot and the other works just fine. Okay. I do not remember having this many Lights and Sounds characters, but I will gladly take them. Very cool. I don't have any of the Lights and Sounds wooden ones. So here's Rosie and her nearly identical snowy repaint. Very cool to have a holiday item. And Holiday Rosie, of all characters, very random character to get a holiday variant. There was a big push for Rosie for a while, and it looks like she'll potentially be the female lead of the new series, which is a super cool evolution for her character. But that Holiday Rosie came with a holiday caboose, which I believe played Christmas music and is a rework of the musical Caboose, which sang the Thomas theme song for whatever reason. This is a really fantastic item, says Season's Greetings on it. Wonderful, wonderful item there. Very specific. Unfortunately, the sound doesn't work. But from that piece of rolling stock, we move on to easily one of my all-time favorite pieces of rolling stock. It's the Chinese dragon, whose eye is almost gone. This was another time where I loved the toy, but the episode scared me so much as a kid. The head here has a sort of bobbing feature. But yeah, what a great design once again. Very, 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 very cool. I wonder how many kids acted like that was a real character because it had a face. Of course, it's just a rolling stock. We got our third and final version of Hero. I don't see him, but I see his tender. Oh, here he is. This is Patchwork Hero from when they're starting to put him back together. So he's this strange amalgam of random pieces that they've salvaged. And it makes for a very cool, very unique item. Really reminds me of some of the Cars characters for some reason. His tender is just the same. It's just beaten up. And it doesn't have the miscoloration. But yeah, I got all three of those Hero variants for Christmas. I think Hero of the Rails came out on like Thanksgiving, and I got those for Christmas. So I can now officially confirm there's no Iron Airy. I won't cry for you, see, if you're gonna still be Iron Airy. But I'll find him. I will. But first, we've got Salty here. Again, one of the most prominent side characters in the entire series. Salty works at the docks, thinks it's a good idea to talk like a pirate. I doubt anyone really enjoys that, but it's great to see him and another character with a fabulous design. Okay, guys, stop. Just for a minute, let's all do the bump. Yeah, I have some random accessories in here. There's the bump sign. You know what? Let's do the accessories later. I'm sorry, cow. You'll have to wait. Here's Ivo Hugh. Why does he look high? What a strange random character. One of the book exclusive characters that they tackled later on. Very interesting for sure. After Ivo Hugh, let's see who's next. Here is the regular truck that came alongside the giggling troublesome truck. This is just a classic troublesome truck here. Incredibly, again, well-designed character. And look, it's got a little bobbling feature. I don't think I ever realized that as a kid. Yeah, I never had a lot of the notable troublesome trucks. Fred Pelhay, Rickety. They were, by the time I was a kid, only being sold in big packs. We've got another book exclusive character here. This is Wilbert. He, much like Frank, came with a random DVD, and I had no clue who he was as a kid. But good to see him. He's very clearly... No, actually, I was going to say he's a Bill and Ben repaint, but he actually is a unique mold. Very nice there. I believe he's named after the creator of the Thomas series, right? I believe he's named after Wilbert Audrey. Found a small chunk of Terrence tread. Just want you to know that. Okay, up next we have Neville. Very solid design for a random one-off. Another character with kind of a strange face, but hey, pretty nice. We've got Neville there. All right, him and his tender. We should have just enough space to fit all these guys, which is really nice. Up next we have... Oh, these are so cool, guys. We got the aquarium cars. These are so cool. Unfortunately, it seems like maybe some of the water in mine, maybe there's a little less water than there used to be. Did it evaporate? I'm not sure. No, I don't think so. But the aquarium cars. We got the shark and the octopus, both labeled aquarium cars. I remember these being items that I saw in the Thomas yearbook every year and really wanted, but I didn't get them until a little later. There's a little bit of space on the left of the, between the first row of characters in the box. So I'll squeeze a few characters in there. We got Duck, beloved fan favorite from the series. Another character who got a great CGI reworking a couple years after I stopped collecting, but that is your classic Duck, of course. On the subject of classic characters, this one, absolutely iconic. This one I remember being an older item when I got it. This is George the Steamroller. What a great character. One I'm so happy to have. A lot of these, you know, I was really, really lucky to get as a kid. Looking at this is showing me I was getting this on so many cars. I had a very fortunate situation, you know, allowing me to get all of these. We have another Thomas. This is from the iconic Adventures of Thomas set. One quite appropriate for right now. Winter Wonderland Thomas. Might be my favorite Thomas in my collection, other than the 60th anniversary one. It's really great, but again, it doesn't use a new face. You know which one does, though? I think this is our last Thomas. It's another one of my all-time favorites from my childhood. Paint Splattered Thomas. This one was also in that 3-pack alongside Winter Wonderland and Thomas Comes to Breakfast. Oh my gosh, I almost called him Bed and Breakfast Thomas. Thomas wanted to go to the Airbnb. It's the first time I've ever done a Ringo impression. I think it turned out just good, just fine. All right, we got Old Slow Coach. Here she is. Nice to see her. Everyone say hi to the Lizzie of the Thomas universe. Just a couple characters left in here. We've got Hector. What a scary guy. Look at his face. Of course, this character is introduced, isn't he called like Hector the Horrid? And he has like a redemption arc in his one episode. Another hit era new character who probably just existed to sell merchandise. But hey, they made him different. They made him a coal hopper, so I'll take it. He's unique. Up next, wow, at the bottom are some of the best characters. We got Mighty Mac in here. I love Mighty Mac. What an insanely cool character. This is a character with two faces. So we've got Mighty and Mac, and they're these sort of conjoined twin characters, for lack of a better term. And yeah, if I remember correctly, do they have like special magnets? I don't know, but we could test it out because we've got another cargo car in here. Do they both have front magnets, if I remember correctly? Oh, yeah, that's what it was. They have universal magnets. Very cool, just like the metal ones. But, yeah, other characters don't have that, but they did it for Mighty Mac because they have two sides, two faces. Up next, we have Rusty, who has kind of an afro look going on by accident. Rusty's face in the show was higher up, but they always put it lower down for whatever reason. Kind of looks like Garnet from Steven Universe right now, if I'm being real with you. But yeah, I'm just trying to double check. Yeah, Mighty Mac had universal magnets. Again, they thought of very smart things for certain characters. At the bottom here, we really have some of the best. We got Birdie the Bus. This is from when they removed the passengers from Birdie. There used to be a smoker in there. It was a whole debacle. But yeah, there's Birdie. And to go alongside Birdie, one of my personal favorite characters, another one I think had to maybe be picked up on eBay or something. This is Bulgy. Horrendous name, but man, what a guy and what a character. One of those rare items when I was a kid that I am so happy to have now. One of my all-time favorites. There's my guy Bulgy. Up next, we have probably the least interesting item left here, but it's still a pretty good one. This is the cement mixer. This came with Rusty and the other car, and as you can see, we don't have much space to do it, but it would, yeah, rotate. We could hook it up to Rusty. May as well. I'm sorry, Hero. You got a cement mixer in your face now, but you'll live with it. Up next, we have Lady from Magic Railroad. This is, what, the second edition Lady? Really great character design here. Again, I never saw that movie. I saw her in Calling All Engines. I was scared of the Diesel 10 scenes. But she was fine there. She shows up in kind of a dream sequence. Up next, we have Trevor. Another really great character with a great design. Love that the gear moves when you move his wheel. Another one of those classic road vehicles. He and Terrence, right? Great characters. Up next, speaking of road vehicles, we have Sir Topham Hatt's car. This one's sort of a later item, but I love Sir Topham Hatt in it. This one's super squeaky for some reason. Oh, I hate that. But if you could ignore the squeaking, sorry. He pops up and down while you drive. No magnets on this one at all, which is very uncommon for this line. Up next, we've got Lorry 1. I got this guy from that recycling center set. I never saw the episode these guys came from as a kid, but, you know, again, I knew the characters from the toys, from books, from stuff like that, but I know the other two Lorries are quite rare. One was like a mail away, or a store exclusive or something. We got 4 items left. Up first, flying in, we got Harold. Never thought he looked too much like the character on the wooden model, but he's a great wooden model nonetheless. We're going to put him on the side. Up next, we have, this was one of my favorite characters as a kid. This is D199, another book exclusive character. I had no clue who he was as a kid, but I know he comes from one of the most beloved stories in the book now, Super Rescue, right? And yeah, he had a yellow face, which made me so confused as a kid. I was obsessed with this concept of a character randomly having a yellow face when the rest had gray faces. I had a Hero of the Rails coloring book, and I decided I'm going to give Thomas a yellow face, because D199 has it. You guys know I love background characters in my favorite series, and that's just another case of that. All right, 2 characters left. Up next, we have Madge. Here's Madge. Madge was a sort of flatbed truck. If I remember correctly, in universe, she's just kind of a jerk. She's like very bossy, but I've said it before, and I will once again confess live on camera in front of my audience of thousands that Madge was my first crush. I remember having a crush on Madge as a child. So take with that information what you will. And look at that, we have perfectly filled up the space, but okay, maybe not. But we do have one final character. Oh, there's space for Madge near the cement mixer. And that character happens to be my all-time favorite. I saved the best for last. Toby. Toby was always my favorite as a kid. Something about him. He's so kind. He's so wise. He's this older character that knows what's up. He's got a great design. People kind of make fun of him for his design in universe, but yeah, so there it is. He's also kind of the least main of the main characters. So here are all of my engines. And we're going to line them up before looking at the track. But first, look at this. We have all my character cards, including some custom ones that I made as a kid. We got some other things in here, though, like Sir Topham Hatt, Terrence's treads strewn about, recycling car pieces, railroad crossing. Here is the cement piece, as you can see. Or is the tan one the cement piece? I'm not quite sure. Here's the cow, the bump sign, cargo, more cargo. Lot of stuff here. Now, I'm actually going to stop filming for the night and come back in the morning to cover the track. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab Cranky and hopefully Iron Airy. But yeah, these are all of my engines. Now it's time to move on to the next stage of the video. I'm gonna set them all up and we'll take a look at them. Alright guys, it's the next morning. I'm about to head back out to continue filming the rest of the video, but I did successfully find the other items in my room. We'll take a look at Cranky when we take a look at the track, but I just want to show you guys the other engines we found. Here is Iron Airy. Of course, going alongside Bert. He is the one without stubble. How does the train have stubble? I don't know, and I never will. And then we have Metal. Take along, take and play, whatever, Rheneas. He, again, was a character that I stuck in the background of McQueen in the new car as a joke. Never got his wooden version, so yeah, again, I'm missing a lot of the significant narrow gauge characters in Wooden Railway, but he came alongside those dinosaur cars, I believe, so he goes with those. Okay, let's get back to it. You know, went back home last night and I started editing the video And the footage that I filmed was an hour and a half. Let me close the garage. This is an hour and a half into this video. I was not expecting it to be that long, and hey, I love making long videos. And like I said while I was going through everything, I love how laid back and casual this one is. So I started setting everything up so we could get a nice, good group shot of them, but I still got a ways to go. Still gotta put all these guys down. Ooh, and the character cards. We gotta look at the cards. The character cards were such a fun thing to collect. Unfortunately, this is something they stopped doing within my time as a collector, which was really a shame. By like the CGI era, these had stopped happening, and they didn't come back. I also always loved the pamphlets, the flyers that you would get with each character. That stopped too. I know that came back in 2013 when Mattel took over. Emily is a beautiful engine with shiny paintwork and gleaming brass fittings. Thomas Cartwrighter simping over Emily there. The take along. So I did my research before I left this morning. Take along ran up until 2009, and Take and Play started in 2010. So all of mine should be take-alongs. Now, I really, really love the take-along cards. I think they're super underrated. They give you actually a screenshot from the source material, which is super cool. They look like a ticket, which is super fun. It fits both the train theme and the take-along theme, right? You're taking it with you. And, well, I'm not going to go through and read the descriptions of all of these. I do want to point out, it's written like sort of a stats card, kind of like a trading card. Name, Rheneas and the dinosaur. Colors, red. Bio, a very careful engine is needed to transport the old dinosaur bones to the museum. Is Rheneas strong enough to pull the delicate cargo? ThomasMorantz.com. So I guess that, oh my gosh, look directly under, it's a fossil car. I just randomly scooped these up. That is a crazy coincidence. Yeah, this is based on a book, and I guess the Rheneas pack wasn't. I know I said that earlier. It's Madge. No way. So later on, they switched to this different sort of style, and they also changed the logo. I always like the older one better. That is 2007. They started changing. Oh wow, that must mean that item must have come out 2008 then. Toad. I'm just gonna start picking one from each stack. Aquarium cars. Who would win? We got Iron Airy. Oh, Airy and Bert were given... Oh, look! Oh my gosh, what are the odds? What are the odds? They ended up right next to each other. Terrifying coincidence. Airy and Bert were not given the same card. Bill and Ben were given one card. Let's pick up a few. Dennis. Wow. My stack fell. There we go. At least until the next opportunity to avoid work comes along. Elfie. This one is very clearly a prototype image. Do I have actual? Yeah, actual Elfie. I still have here. I haven't sorted him yet. You can tell a lot of these use prototype images. As you can see there. Maybe we could have Elfie help pick up our mess. Fine, you have 3 stacks now. While we're at it, whoa, it's Bulstrode. Spoiler, Bulstrode's with the bigger items. He's with the track pieces. But see, even he got one. We've got Paint Splattered Thomas. Even the multi-packs came with cards. As seen in the video, Calling All Engines. I think that's the only one that we've seen that does it. Yeah, we got Winter Wonderland Thomas right here. These are the couple I picked up off the stack with Dennis, and it doesn't tell you where he's from. Here's Terrence, and you'll actually see my second Terrence, which I got from the Airfield set, has a different card with the newer style. Gordon, also clearly a prototype. Smudger. Yeah, this is the newer style. Does it mention? Yep. Smudger was a show-off who rode roughly and often derailed. He was reckless and a hazard to other engines, so the manager decided to make him more useful by turning him into a generator at the back of the engine shed. My God, that's so morbid. Daisy and Thomas here. Very nice. We've got Edward. And right next to Edward, we have Henry, which is crazy. Once again, clearly prototypes. We got Toby. Toby's description is very short. We got my boys. Absolute legends. Recycling cars. Yeah, all the engines know how important it is to recycle. Yeah, see, this is kind of an educational tool. Birdie. Firmest of friends with Thomas since their great race, Birdie understands that both rails and roads are useful on the island. I like that description kind of takes place after the episode. I was talking about that. Here's the zoo cars. Funnily enough, they don't have a screenshot because they were made up for the toy line. Name, zoo colors, zoo colors. Name, zoo cars, colors, blue and tan. I was talking when we started reading. I like that they mentioned the plowing snow. It's a very famous appearance of the gentleman. Here's Salty. Salty, no! I was talking when we were reviewing the Meet the Cars books. You know, how a lot of the descriptions are sort of poised as before the episodes took place. The episodes before the movies took place. Hector. And, Flora here, complete with her tram car. She's got to be one of the last characters in my collection to have a card, because by the time of Hero of the Rails, they were gone. Here's Mighty Mac. There we go. Very cool character. That's one. Absolutely love to see him. Here is another regular Thomas card. And here, yeah, here's Boko. See, so this was an international card. Check this out. Whew. See, look at that. It doesn't even give you the specific description. And since Boko was an older item, I assume that's just how the cards used to look. But I think it's just because my Boko's an international one. Spencer. And Spencer is just about the shiniest, sleekest engine the island of Sodor has ever seen. Thomas Card Writer simping for Spencer, too. Duck. It'd be so funny if the person that wrote this was just like super lonely. Like, Emily's beautiful, and Spencer is so shiny, and Murdoch he's such a mighty engine, and it's not fair. I wanna train GF. Chinese Dragon. He's like, huh? What? What'd you guys say? Here's Jeremy. I love when they had to go out of their way to create different backgrounds. I really like that image of Jeremy. Take along Spencer. There we go. We've got, yeah, see, this is what I was talking about. This is the other Terrence card on the new style. We got Mavis as well. Very nice. We've got, for some reason, Lori 1 is just labeled Lori, which is weird. I wonder if the other two had cards. Chocolate-covered Percy. Interestingly, that Percy's base just says Percy. So, there's the official name. Okay, that actually just has like a basic description for Sir Topham Hatt, which is fun. Yeah, I jumped ship. I stopped watching before Mr. Topham Hatt's car was an established character. Jack Frost Percy. Here you can see this is a prototype image, but those are the colors he's supposed to be. Not the, this is, you know, when he's Snow Miser, not Heat Miser. Here is Take Along Dennis. There we go. And we've got Rocky and Trevor. I could have sworn Rocky was on the newer style, but he is not. He is also copyrighted in 2007, so looks like they changed that around 2007, 2008. D199, my guy. What is his, yeah, doesn't really say much. I don't think I ever read the story with him in it as a kid. We've got... Okay, so Oliver doesn't have a screenshot. Maybe that was just something they changed later. I'm not sure. Harvey. There we go. Harvey. And Diesel 10, as a kid, I noticed something was off with him. He only has 6 wheels total. I remember noticing that on the card as a kid, that he was shorter. So it seems that that is because he's a prototype. Bad omen for Thomas Wood. So Derek is an engineer who spends most of his time at the quarries and clay mines near Brendan Docks. Prone to overheating his engine, Bill and Ben help Derek by pulling him back to the works for repair. So he's not the guy whose engine explodes. That's the one that's just called like the Diesel, whose back also explodes. So they did that twice. I never realized that as a kid. I don't think. I think I always had him be the one who exploded in the back. SC Ruffy? Pronounced Scruffy. Okay, all my life, even as a kid, I wasn't sure which one to call him. Lady. Most creative name and creative card in history. Peter Sam. New style. Yeah, he's also copyrighted in 2007. Here's a Thomas on a new style. Weirdly dark blue there. Byron and Arthur. There we go. Arthur's copyright 2005. Byron's copyright 2006. Annie. And Cold Dust Percy fell. No! Okay, we'll grab him in a second. Annie. Oliver. Let's get that dust off of here. Oliver. So she is copywritten 2006. So Oliver was a 2007. Wow, so I was 3 years old. Max and Monty. As a kid, I never got curved road pieces, and I didn't know they existed until I was older, but they're right here on a lot of the cards. I guess I never noticed that. Sodor chicken cars. Yeah. Harold. Unfortunately, didn't get some sort of cool air background, but he did get spinning propellers there. Rusty with construction cars. Let's go pick up Coal Dust Percy. Here's Thomas and jet engine. Zoom! Thomas goes for the ride of his life with the jet engine. He's pulling, takes off, and propels him around the island of Sodor. Absolute certified classic episode there. I'm going to have to use Neville's card to pick up Coal Dust Percy. Neville has the sturdiest card. It's like way thicker than the others. No bends. No folds, okay? He never folds. He is the Gambit of my Thomas and Friends card collection. Why is it so much thicker? I don't know, but Neville was one of the last items that I got, so maybe that's the case. Oh, actually, Giggling Troublesome Trucks are really sturdy too, but you could tell, again, they're an older card. Prototype image, clearly. We got the Breakdown Train. Murdoch. Oh, and Toad. Hello! I woke up an hour ago, guys. So we got 2 different styles here. Yeah, so clearly at some point they changed the design to just have a picture. Yeah, Murdoch's copyright 2006, so probably 2007 release. Toad's copyright 2008. It's probably something they did to allow them to just make whatever, not have to worry about it. Another Thomas. So we've seen 4 Thomas cards, but I only have 3 Thomases. I wonder. I know when I was a kid, I went through my cards collection and donated my duplicates. I wish I remembered what duplicates I had. Old Slow Coach and Clarabelle. So I guess at one point I probably donated my spare Thomas. Again, to the bottom here, we've got Fog Cars. Yeah, they're also on a thicker card. Bane of My Existence for this video. Donald. Okay. We got regular Percy. And finally, we've got Diesel and Rosie. So you can see a lot of items did not come with cards. They stopped later on. They also just have a lot that didn't. And since that's what happened, I took matters into my own hand, and me and my mom, and I think even my sister, we started making our own cards, which are these random sheets of paper you see at the bottom. Warning, terrible art and descriptions incoming. Let's see. So this, I think, is... Yeah, this is my sister's custom engine. So now we could learn about her. My sister came here last night and confirmed this one was mine, and she has her own separate one, which I know I have somewhere. She gave it to me a few years ago when she was cleaning her room. I think I have it in a bin with some of my other old toys. But my sister's engine that she made at this event was named Rainy. Oh, and also, you know this one is mine because it's got the number 7, which is my favorite number because it's Toby's number. To this day, that's why. Rainy is a smart engine, best friends with Percy. She is a useful engine. She's always happy. She loves to work at the docks with friends. She loves to see her friends. As you can see, visionary writing. In case you're wondering how that handwriting is so good, that's my mom's handwriting. Speaking of handwriting, here's mine. Soda line and caboose. Caboose spelt wrong. The caboose... I spelled caboose C-B-O-S. I was trying. Thomas pulls the caboose behind Annie and Corbeck. It's Clarabelle, obviously. Oh, that's amazing. Wow, this has to be some of my earliest writing because I cannot spell to save my life. Cranky. Could you guys tell this was cranky? I was like, why is one of these just a pole? Yeah, see, thank you to my mom for writing crankies. We even made one for the cargo car because that was necessary. Yeah, that's an accurate drawing of it, not gonna lie. That's Salty and Harvey. Why did I pick them? Oh, Ernie! I named the character Ernie. Wait, so both of mine were named after Muppets? Scooter and Ernie. So Ernie's the round one. Ernie's a diesel that's very smart. His best friend is Toby. Yeah, you know it's mine. His favorite job is to work at the docks. His best friends at the docks are Salty, Cranky, and Bulstrode. They love to be together. I never watched the Bulstrode episode as a kid. Bulstrode's a jerk, dude. Ivo Hugh. Oh, that's terrifying. I think my sister drew that. Yeah. Yeah, that's my sister's. That one definitely came later. Much better than... Wilbert, she definitely also... No, this is my mom's... Or did my mom draw these? I can't tell. Did I show the back of Wilbert? I'm sorry if I didn't. But I know for sure that I drew Sir Topham Hatt. Beautiful. Lego looking. We've got Charlie. Complete with a car. Oh, that's a beautiful drawing, young me. Charlie is a fun purple engine. He loves racing with friends. Charlie also has a light. Jams. Oh. My James doesn't have a card. I didn't realize that. Jams is a bragful engine. Whenever he gets something engine, he brags. He sees something new, he goes and brags, or something like that. Yeah, now I'm remembering that for whatever reason, my James didn't have a card. Proteus. Maybe it was lost at some point, I don't know. Proteus. Proteus is an engine. Great job, me. Oh, with a magic lamp. I didn't see that part. Victor. Yeah. And these ones are drawn by my sister. Kevin. That's drawn by me. Again, guys, I swear I got better. Kevin, the crane, who always has a slip of the hook. I guess that was a thing he would say. Here's Billy. My mom drew Billy. That's why he looks good. And accurate. And terrifying. He looks like Salty, does he? Because of his teeth? I was really bad at comparing these characters, I'm learning. This is Jack, who also was missing a card for some reason. So yeah, on what planet is that, Jack? I don't know. But okay. Then we have Hero, the master of the railway hero. What? This one's upside down, dude. Oh, it's Hero, and he's sad, but the sun's behind him. I really took some creative liberty on that one. Colin! See, this one's great. My mom did this one. Okay. He's never had a party. Fearless Freddy helped him hit era character, clearly. Colin's also with the track. All right, let's finish setting these up. This is a video of my Thomas and Friends wooden railway collection. So please enjoy. No, could you imagine? All right, we've got everything set up. Let's go through the tour. We have 3 versions of regular Thomas. The 60th anniversary version of Thomas. Winter Wonderland Thomas. Paint Splatter Thomas. Thomas Comes to Breakfast. We got the Birthday Thomas. Edward, Henry, Gordon, James, Percy, Coal Dust Percy, Chocolate Covered Percy, Jack Frost Percy, looking rather toasty. Toby, Duck, Donald and Douglas, Oliver, Emily. There's Harvey, whose face is obscured. Maybe I should have turned the hook around. Diesel, specifically the 2013 version. Salty, Mavis, Bill and Ben, Boko, Daisy, Iron Airy, good to have him back. Iron Bert, Stepney, Murdoch, Arthur, Spencer, Derek, Rosie, Snowy Rosie. Then we've got Molly, Dennis, Billy, Neville, Hero, Lost and Found Hero, and Patchwork Hero. Then over here we have Charlie and Flora, Diesel 10, Lady, Wilbert, and D199. Moving into the narrow gauge characters, we have Peter Sam, Rusty, Ivo Hugh, Smudger, Mighty Mac, Victor, and Proteus. And then we have Frank. Just Frank. We have Scooter and Ernie here, my boys. Moving into road vehicles, Birdie, Bulgy, 2 versions of Terrence with their treads in varying degrees of disrepair. Trevor, Lori 1, George, Sir Topham Hatt's car, Jack, Alfie, Byron, Max, Monty, Madge, a lot of M names there, Kevin, the fire truck, Spotlight Lori, and Cherry Picker. Moving into coaches and such, we've got Annie and Clarabelle, Old Slow Coach, Flora's Tram, the Sodor Line Caboose, Holiday Caboose, Toad, the Breakdown Train, and Rocky, as well as the Fire Train and Hand Car, sort of your trains that have to be pulled, non-engine train characters. We've got, moving into trucks and cars and such, the Giggling Troublesome Truck, Scruffy, Hector, Recycling Cars, the Fog Cars, 4 cargo cars, not including the egg car over there, which is specially labeled, aquarium cars, zoo cars, the construction cars, chicken car, and again, the egg car, which is specially labeled cargo car, the birthday car, we've got the museum car, dinosaur car, what's this? Yeah, fossil car, okay. Tried twice, didn't get it either time. The Chinese dragon, and finally, Harold the helicopter. Again, we have a couple larger characters there with the tracks. We also have Sir Topham Hatt and a cow. I don't know why the cow came first. Okay. And we also have my take-along collection. Again, a lot more items here than I thought. But just looking across it, you can see it is very sporadic and random. We have Thomas, Gordon, Lights and Sounds Gordon, Lights and Sounds James, Oliver, 2 versions of Diesel. I remember one of these Diesels came on its own, and the other came in a 3-pack with Bill and Ben, who we've got there. Murdoch, Spencer, Lights and Sounds Rosie, and Dennis. And then from the narrow gauge line, Rheneas and Fearless Freddy. Then we got Annie and Clarabelle, Toad, the jet engine and fuel car, the dinosaur cars, and the zoo cars. And that is everything, except for what's in here. All right, guys, I am so excited to start going through our box of track, bigger characters, and destinations. And we're going to start off with easily the most iconic big character in this series. I'd argue one of the most iconic characters in all of Thomas and Friends it's Cranky. How could you not love Cranky? What a character, what a model. Of course, he has some play features. He can move his head from side to side, and he could also lower the magnet, pick up cargo, pick up engines. Again, the magnet system is genius. I know Wooden Railway weren't the ones to invent it, but the stuff they did with it, incredible. So up first, at the top of the box, we have easily one of the most substantial destinations here. It is the shed. Now, I guess technically speaking, this isn't the Toy Line's Tidmouth sheds, but it's the shed. That's really all that matters. Space for 5 characters on the inside, and they could all be, attached to the track. Having all the characters be the same width, fit in the grooves there, genius. This, of course, could be attached to several different pieces. But this, when you're making a layout, when I'm making a layout, when I was making a layout, that was always the starting point. You always start with the shed, and you build from there. And the shed also has this piece that attaches to it. This is a 5-way switch, but of course you could also connect it to the turntable. So I never really used this track piece as a kid. I was always use the turntable, but something I really like that I've seen a lot of YouTubers do is use this and connect it to the turntable. Very smart move. I'm going to be keeping some of the track off to the side. But, nothing to say about most of the track. Most of it is just track. We've got some ascending track here. Okay. We've got curved track. Of course, curved track came in several different sizes. We have some rather newer looking track. Much nicer. We have one of these double-sided adapters. One of the most useful track pieces. I just got, so sentimental putting 2 track pieces together. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, these are super useful, and this comes back, of course, from the era where if you flipped it over, you had a road. Those adapters, pieces you're always gonna need, always gonna want to use. Here we have a shorter curve. Again, I'll keep the curves off to the side because we don't have much space here. You know what? You know what's gonna be really funny? There we go. Yeah. All right, we've got our first risers. If you want to take your track up a level, of course, you use risers. I got quite a few of these, and this is kind of your full riser. You have this top piece that you connect the track to. You have this middle piece, and you have this bottom plastic piece. Not sure why this piece was plastic, but of course, you could do whatever you want with these. I mean, you could just place this on the ground. It wouldn't do anything, but, this allows you to have a variety of heights, and obviously, if you have more risers, you could go even higher. Very, very cool. Yeah, we've got some more plastic riser bases here. Risers are going to be, pardon my pun, very useful if you want to make some stuff. We also have some wooden risers, as you can see, scattered throughout. Here's another wood riser top piece. Yeah, just some more straight tracks. Actually, this is the first straight track we've seen. So, I got some straights in there. All right. Got another curve. And I'm starting to see some more unique items like this. I don't know what this is officially called. Maybe like the Flexi track or something. I don't know. But this looks like the sort of thing you'd see in an infomercial at 2 a.m. The final Wooden Railway item I ever bought was a track expansion pack in 2013, 2014, shortly after I bought Diesel. And, it came with this. This was sold on its own for a while, and then it was also put in a track pack. But, yeah, you could turn this into whatever you want. Adapter, regular track piece, or long version of this sort of adapter. It's made up of 3 regular track pieces. I actually never had this type of piece as a kid, and I still don't, obviously, except for jammed in here, which unfortunately is not removable. I guess we'll put that with the adapter down there. Yeah, I never had curved road pieces. I never had those opposite adapters. So yeah, we've got part of the Archstone Bridge. This is part of that classic figure 8 layout set. Our next destination here, so hopefully we can find it. Shorter piece of track and a curve. Okay. Another curve. Okay. Then we've got, actually, let me just put down another curve first. and 2 more pieces of ascending track, but I see our next very large piece. Oops, sorry, cranky. So this bridge, yeah, very, very cool bridge. Opens up and stuff. I don't remember the specific name of this item. It's also missing the roof, the little cap roof. For whatever reason, those would always be separate pieces here. It's the lifting bridge. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. But again, for whatever reason, a lot of these destinations have 2 opposite sides. So that's why you need those adapters. I don't know why they would always do that. But we're going to see several destinations like that. This is the tunnel that came with the airport set. Put it over there. Another wood riser piece. Actually, 2 more wooden riser pieces. And another riser top. All right. A lot more risers than I remember having, but again, they are very, very useful. I remember at one point, after I stopped getting Thomas stuff, I came back for a little bit. I built the craziest hill. Just insanely huge mountain. And I think I called it Gordon's Hill, because of course that's a very famous tall mountain from the show. This is the Knapford covered bridge. This is from my 60th anniversary set. Again, one of my oldest, most beloved sets in the collection. We'll stick it by the other tunnel. Did I just call it a bridge? I'm sorry. Well, actually, I think it might be called the... No. Why would it be called that? Here's a Switch. Obviously, very important. If you want to, play Super Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild, you're going to need a Switch. Well, I guess Breath of the Wild was out on the Wii U also. That was a terrible pun. I'm sorry, guys. We've got other half of this Archstone Bridge. I think this was a special version of the bridge. It's Colin! Apparently this guy's never been to a party. Loser. Here he is. I don't know how I got him. I believe he was sold on his own. Later on, they made a new version of him in the story set series. But yeah, he's got a fully articulated plastic crane arm. And, oh, I don't remember him swiveling, but clearly he does. So, very cool to have a second crane other than Cranky. Of course, he is specifically for the narrow gauge characters. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. Grab some more track here. Just a couple more straight pieces. Let's see what else we could get. Oh, this piece is huge. Whoa, it's the hanger for Jeremy here. This thing is absolutely massive. This thing is huge. When I was a kid, I remember always wanting more destinations. And when I think back on my collection, I'm like, I didn't really have that many. But you'll see, I do have quite a few. And some of them are very special, unique pieces, like an entire airport hangar, which is hilariously empty on the inside. But it does have a clear plastic roof here. It's a nice piece, but again, it is literally, guys, it's just a box. It's literally, it's just a box. We'll stick that off to the side. But there's also this cardboard runway, complete with a little windsock. There you go. And speaking of all that, we do have Jeremy right here. This guy always had a unique play feature where his eyes are very uniquely built. It's not a play feature, but when I was a kid, I would always pop his head off and go like this. Because you realize you could kind of puppeteer him. Huh? Huh? He's Spencering right now, dude. Hold on. Yeah, great character. I'm gonna put him over by Harold because he is a character. Let's see what we got next. Oh, here is a stop and go station. This specifically is for the museum, as you can see, exhibit today, and then they've got its hours, closed Monday, Tuesday through Friday, it's 9 to 6, Saturday and Sunday, it's 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Here we've got the top of the lifting bridge, guys. I found it. Found it. There we go. All right, let's place that down. Up next, we've got, I believe this is the Sodor Bay Bridge. It's got a piece of track attached to it, so I must have done something with this when I did my live stream a few years ago. There it is, Sodor Bay Bridge. It's a pretty big one. All right, here is, of course, that had a ascending track with it, so we'll put it with the ascending track. We've got a curve there, obviously. Way fewer straight pieces than I thought I had. Here are, oh, just a couple of pieces randomly thrown together. More curves and the shortest straight track we've seen so far. Let's just put those in the little second row we're building up. Okay, this is the bumpy track, hence why I had that bumpy track sign. These two were sold on their own. I distinctly remember going to AC Moore and buying that. What a just like funny, weird little track back to get, right? Another item from my, oh, never mind. I have no clue what this is. I thought it was buffers, but it's just a wedge of wood. Okay, I'm putting that back in the bin. Here is a road off-ramp. Okay, this came from that final expansion pack that I bought. You know, kind of poetic. The last thing that I bought was a track expansion pack. Very, very useful. Last thing I bought, for now, at least. I'm just going to sort more of these. Here's another switch. Because, you know, depending on how this video goes, maybe I'll make some more. Maybe I'll go on eBay and see if I could find some good items I'm missing for cheap. Any recommendations of good items I could get for a good price? Let me know. Maybe on a very rare occasion we could do a very rare Thomas video where maybe I could pick something up and unbox it. That could be fun. More curves. Okay. Here is the turntable. There we go. And all the pieces are together. This was always a nightmare to find all the pieces as a kid, because these things would come off. Hey. Yeah, so this attaches right to the shed. Very nice. We will put it over with Jeremy's junk. Absolute ton of track here. Okay, let's see. More ascending track. It's gonna fall. This is just Jenga. Okay, fine. Second row straight track. You go down there. Sorry, ascending track. All the names. Huge stack of more stuff. We have the opposite type of switch. Should go here. Straight track. Yeah, okay, we're gonna make a new row of straight track is what we'll do. Curve track, just like with Jenga, we're gonna start turning it the other way. Maybe that's a bad idea. More straight track. Okay, guys, I just picked up an absolute ton of track. Okay, 2 more straights. I'm just gonna put some of these off to my side. Straight track. Actually, I'll put the smaller straight tracks down here since we started the pile. 2 more curves. Ascending track and a small curve. Here is another road off-ramp. Okay. I don't remember having 2 of those in that pack, but I guess I did. Curves I'll start setting aside. And before we get to our next destination, here's some more straight tracks and curves. I'm sorry. If this, oh no, wait, I started putting the short straight tracks with the long straight tracks, no. Sorry if this is not the most entertaining part of the video, but I'm having fun here. So this item, next destination, or I don't really know if this is a destination, I guess so. This was originally called the Quarry Mine Tunnel. And this is a redo of it, repaint, redeco, whatever you want to call it. That is from that fossil set. So yeah, this was always really fun as a kid. And I could just go down and flip this door open. I would also push them back up. Very nice. You know, I didn't have many destinations that were buildings. I had a lot that were the sort of like things you pass through, a lot of tunnels and stuff. This is a plastic riser. I believe I only have one of these, but they could stack if you had multiples. So with your riser brethren you go. Okay. Get some more generic track out of the way. This is missing one of the little nubs. When they did the 2022 Wooden Railway, luckily they fixed this and had these started being screwed in. But yeah, even as a kid, you could pop these out pretty easily. I never understood why those pieces, well, actually, now that I think about it, I don't understand why those pieces were constructed like that. Whatever your choice. I gotta move the bin closer as we start getting to the bottom there. We have actually a very special generic regular straight track piece. This is the gold one. This is the 60th anniversary one, complete with 60th anniversary Golden Road. It's a little chipped now, but this was just a special commemorative piece from that incredible set. Great gold finish. Look at how cool this is. So cool. Easily one of the coolest things in my collection. Yeah. Okay, we've got some more generic track, including some more special pieces we haven't seen many of yet. We've got some more curves, several short curves, but we also have, from this handful, the top of a riser, our first rail off-ramp, and another adapter. We're keeping these nice and separate because they are going to be a very necessary. We also have, let's see here, buffers, also from that expansion pack. Another thing I did not have as a kid, well, I got it as a slightly older kid. We also have a railroad crossing, also from that expansion pack. I think now we have seen everything from the set expansion pack. We've got the top of the bridge. I guess this is in Marin, good to know. And then we have two more of the stop and go stations. They were just all over for some reason. Any locations labeled on these? No, but they are different, which is nice. Very similar, but a bit different. So yeah, 3 of the stop and go stations, including one museum stop and go station. We just grabbed an absolute ton of track. Okay. Yeah, just curves. 4 small curves. Another adapter. Great. We're gonna need those. I'm sorry, did you say you wanted more small curves? Because don't worry, I got you. Here's another one. Okay. Short track. Small curve. And I also grabbed a cargo piece. Very cool. I'm gonna put that back in the box for now. Here's another plastic riser piece, okay? And here is a very unique piece because it has a magnet on the side, which is used to attach a destination. So we'll set that aside too. We'll get that destination in just a minute. Here is our other bumpy track. All right. Put that on down. And here's that weird random wooden wedge again. Look at this. Oh, it's the instructions for the recycling center. Yeah, I don't know what this thing is. It's going back in the bin. No special pieces here. Very, very short track piece here. But yeah, nothing too special. Nothing of note. I did find another pamphlet though. This is the instructions for the Spotlight lorry. So cool that so much of this was kept. Shout out my mom, reminding me to keep a lot of these things. We've got Fearless Freddy and Annie and Clarabelle's character cards for take-along randomly in here. I got to make sure they go back with the other cards, so we'll set them aside. We've got a little signal, okay, and we've got a wooden tree. We also have a railroad off-ramp, and just some more straights and curves. Haven't seen those yet today, right? Here is another, can you tell we're getting to the bottom here? Signal, because we're starting to see a lot of these smaller pieces. Here is the base for one of those. Grab it, hold on. Here we go. See? That's the base for one of the signals. Pick your poison. Take your pick. Okay, here is the recycling center. Oh, I'm so excited to see this. I don't know where the magnetic track piece is. We probably missed it to connect to this. But this, oh, this is such a cool set. You would load your trash in, and it would come out here sorted. It would light up. I don't know if those lights still work, but we'll look at it a bit more closely a little later on. But yeah, we've got I guess this is a signal tower from, I think, the airport set. Oh, this is the airport control tower. Very necessary. See, one of the most fun things about this toy line is they would include things like that, things you would need. I know a lot of Thomas fans like Thomas because of how realistic it showcases a railway, despite how, you know, out there it is, the characters being alive. But that's one of the beautiful things about what makes this such a great beloved series. As someone who, just like how I always say, I'm not really a car guy, isn't really a train guy, it didn't mean much to me, but I could still really respect and appreciate a lot of the things they did. So here is Tidmouth Station from the 60th anniversary set, complete with a map on the back, which is very cool. And as you can see, it's incomplete. We got to put in, this always reminded me of like a hat visor, and the roof. Not necessary for these to be removable pieces, but like, why not, right? Have someone crash into this? May as well. This was also part of that 60th anniversary set. We actually have a few more characters here at the bottom, and some signs, so we'll start off with this one. I think this is what you shouldn't do to this video. Maybe it's what I should do with my jokes. Railroad crossing sign, another tree, another base for our other signal. I just hit Jeremy by accident. And Sir, turn around. Thank you. Sir Topham hat, and this guy with an oil can, I guess, is what that is, right? Something along those lines. We also have, here is a new style railroad crossing from that expansion pack. Interesting. Just interesting to see the subtle ways things changed over the years. And here is our other stop sign. And here is the water tower. This goes with the set we saw before. Oh, what a insanely fun set. The water is gross. So I know a lot of people have had these evaporate over the years, which sucks because this is so fun. But yeah, the water would fill and then lower, but for whatever reason, it has just evaporated over the years. But yeah, yellow specifically from that figure 8 set connects to the Trek piece with the magnet in it, which we did set aside. So again, will be pretty helpful in just a bit. Here is a new style, I guess, not allowed sign. We now reach our final giant handful of track. Or perhaps we'll have to do 2 final handfuls of track. Curve track. Very, 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 very short straight track. Curve, straight, straight, curve, straight. But we've got another adapter in here. We've got another straight here. we have another adapter. I remember distinctly having 3 of these as a kid because you would always need them. And yeah, that expansion pack that I bought included an additional one. Maybe an additional 2, considering I think we're up to 5. Here's another set of buffers from that expansion pack. Again, a lot of these special tracks I didn't have until I bought that, and that was the last item I ever bought when I came back to Wooden Railway. Very useful, though. Here's a custom character card also thrown in here for George. He once fell in a ditch on Lady Hat's birthday. Okay. Loser. No, that's a great episode. Is that the one where, yeah, Rooster Top Hat gets covered in mud? Oh, that one is classic. Our final curve, and that leaves us with 1 strange wooden wedge and 2 more destinations and 1 character. Here is the fire station. It's got a bell inside for when you open it, which is super cool. This is, of course, before we had a lot more rescue vehicles. If we know one thing kids love in toys, it's rescue vehicles. Once again, removable roof. But yeah, this is where the fire truck and train came from. This is before Flynn and Bell and all that. But look at that. Look, this looks so realistic, other than the Thomas copyright on the inside. I remember I got this for my birthday. I wish I knew which birthday. And our final destination here, easily one of the coolest. It's the lighthouse. I always used this as Brendam Docks as a kid, right by the bay, of course. And with the drawbridge, of course, this doesn't work anymore, but it rotates and it lights up. I think it may have made sound also. Is there a little sound hole in it? Yes, it's got a speaker right there. And I think that would happen when you push this. See? This set came, of course, with our final item, Bulstrode. What a guy! Like I said earlier, I never saw the Bulstrode episode as a kid, but apparently he isn't actually at the docks, which is funny because so much merchandise puts him at the docks. And now that we have all of this track here, and on either side of me, there's a lot clearly. There's only one thing left to do. We've taken out all the engines. We've taken out all the track. Guys, I want to build a layout. I'm so excited to do this. I want to use every piece we have. If this is, you know, who knows when the next time I'll take my Thomas stuff out is. Like I said a couple minutes ago, if this video does super well, maybe we'll make Thomas stuff a very rare occurrence, rare treat here. I hated that, how that came out, on the channel. Hold on. I'm gonna get stuff into the thumbnail. Yeah. Thumbnail. Oh, Bulstrode should be in the thumbnail. Thumbnail. Bulstrode should be looking at the viewers. Bulstrode now! The people must see you. Yeah. But yeah, who knows? So, guys, let's build a layout. I'm so excited to do this. I want to use all of my pieces if we can. Look at how much floor space we got here. We could use the rug. We could use the cement floor here. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. As I mentioned earlier, you've always got to start your layout with the shed. If you're wondering why this item is dusty, it's at the top of the box. This box is usually covered with a blanket, but yeah, that's why. So I want to attach this to it and then attach the turntable, like I was saying. And that's going to give us a lot more options than usual. Ready? First connection. These have not gone together in so long. Is it in? Are we secure? Are we good? Oh, I have not connected these since I first got the shed. There we go. All right. Okay, and we'll populate this all with characters a little later on. But now let's go and grab ourselves a turntable. Maybe we should, yeah, let's put a track between the turntable. Let's get a medium track piece between here, just so that we have a little more space. So now what we're going to start doing is building out. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, these are the 5 tracks you're supposed to get from connecting it to the roundhouse, but Is that too much space? I feel like I don't want to use a super short track piece because we don't have many. But here, it looks a little awkward having this much space. So this track piece is so much like shinier and newer than the other ones. That's got to be from maybe the expansion set. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Classic. So I want to start branching out, and I think the best way we could branch out is by turning away from the turntable. So maybe if we do that, because you don't want to ram into the sheds. So maybe we could have one line go straight right into my grandparents' weird, creepy porcelain chair and table set. This used to be outside. It's not outside anymore. As you can clearly tell, I don't know what's going on and it's weird. Everyone's grandparents has something like that. We all know that. Oh, will this cause conflict? Yes. Okay. So the way we could do that then, now that's gonna be like a weird close call. I don't really like that, but I'd love for one of these to have a different trajectory. So let's do that. That's so close to the shed. No, okay. Well, you know, I ain't the sharpest tool of the shed. So, yeah. Okay, I'm thinking this line can go into a big hill where we use a lot of the risers. I think that would be really cool. So let's get some pieces together to do that. Actually, okay, should we use one of our adapters already to make this go straight? Trying to figure out what the right course of actions would be. I saw the metal wood track piece earlier because we gotta include all those destinations. You know what? I have a plan. Okay. Let's start building a little road section here. Okay. Oh, actually, our road section can't start here. Okay. Okay. I'm getting a vision. I got a plan now. I got it. Let's start building a road section so that we can incorporate our road. Again, I don't have road curves, but let's build a little bit of a road section here. And luckily we have 2 road off ramps, which is perfect because we have 2 destinations that are gonna require road. And luckily they are both the same type of ramp. So we could have, again, I wish I had curved road pieces. If I do go and I buy more Thomas stuff for this channel, I will immediately buy curved road pieces. So now we have a little running track for our firefighters to go down. And let's have that run parallel with what the fire train is gonna do. And this can all loop back maybe to here or something along those lines. Look at it coming together. This is bringing me back, guys. Okay, so I did a bit of mining off camera. Now we have this weird curved track spider thing coming out of the turntable. So I added those 4 pieces. So we have 4 more lines. And yeah, I think what would be cool is if we have one of these, let's have this one branch off into a branch line, right? Because a couple characters in universe have their sort of own little sections of railway. So I'm thinking maybe, ooh, I got it. We could have Thomas's branch line over here and maybe like a narrow gauge section over here, kind of by the hills. I'm not sure how that fits in with the lore, so I'm sorry, but that could be cool. And I know it may not line up, but when I was a kid doing Thomas's branch line, I would always include the Archstone Bridge. I know canonically this says Marin, so I'm sorry if that isn't fitting with the canon. But you know what? Okay, so we could have Thomas's branch line behind the shed. Then I want to have sort of a cave system back here going through the weird, freaky porcelain stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna, okay. Let's just start laying stuff down, and let's just grab a bunch of pieces, bunch of straight track, bunch of curves, and let's just start building. Let's just start building. It's all we can do is just begin. Okay, so maybe we could have a little closed loop here. If we want a closed loop, then we're gonna need a track switch. Yeah, look, this is definitely from that expansion pack. See how much nicer, cleaner, brighter it is? Okay, so if we want to make this line, our branch line, a closed loop, now see, we're gonna need one of those dual adapters I don't have. Okay. Let's find the top of the Marin Bridge. There we go. Okay, so maybe we can use this instead. Does that solve our problem? Yes, it does. Okay, but not immediately because... Okay, there we go. Now, let's get the bridge. Let's get all the pieces. Where did I put the other pieces? I picked them up. Here they are. Okay. The Marin version of the Archstone Bridge. Maybe it's a little useless to not have someone pass under this, but I think that's okay. Oh, it's on a point in the layout where you can't really pass under it. Anyway, let's put another straight track here first. Actually, no, I think it's fine. We'll put the bridge on the other side so that maybe a road vehicle, maybe Birdie could pass through it. Something like that. And then, you know what? Maybe it's a bad idea to have this so soon under or after the bridge, but we have a lot of lines and only so much track. So let's just have a closed loop. Let's have a closed loop here and just connect everything. I'm thinking if this is our Thomas section and it has the Marin Bridge, it should also have the water tower that came from the same set. But unfortunately, right now, I can't seem to find the piece with the magnets on it. So as soon as we do, we can complete that loop. But for now, we've got all of this to deal with. So let's, okay, let's try to figure out, we're gonna want one of them to go to the docks. This is so much fun doing this again. Okay, all right. Okay, let's just do something cool. Since we're at Tidmouth Sheds, let's place Tidmouth Station nearby. Let's put it here, and then we could do our little cave. You know what? What if we had the caves? Do we have enough to make the caves connect to the Thomas section? I'm not sure. But that would be pretty cool, right? Okay, I want to do a bridge of some kind, a hill of some kind, something like that. Let's do... This could be like a good closed loop, maybe, right? Because we did start a bunch of lines, and maybe that's not the smartest idea. My biggest concern is just not having enough track. Now, I want to save most of our ascending pieces for later, but let's do something like that, maybe? Is that too much to come straight off the turntable and go right to that? Okay. Yeah, maybe it is. Okay, straight track, anybody? Okay. Remember, we're just gonna have to drop everything we're doing if we find one with the magnets on it. I set it aside and now I don't know where it is. That's a little bit better. Okay, so, oh, actually, we could connect these. Okay, that works. That just lined up. So let's connect this to something else. Okay, I'm trying to think. What should, realistically, this needs to be screwed in more. The little nub there. What should realistically be on a Thomas layout? Well, that's a bad idea. Luckily for us, we have risers. So let's see, and it's so smart. Everything is at the same elevation. And genius toy line. Genuinely. So intuitive, so innovative, so well done. There we go. So now our road section is nice and safe. We're just gonna need an adapter piece there. Our first adapter, which is gonna go right there. And so we're gonna need a straight track, but we'll do a straight with a switch so that it can line up with our other track. If we could get that to work, which we probably should, right? Could we? Yeah, if we move it around a tiny bit, we should be good to go. Let's get another straight track. And there we go. That is, can we do it? Yes, that is one closed loop. It's a little tight, but that's okay. We've got our first closed loop. It doesn't do much, but we got it. All right, I'm liking how this is turning out. Okay, okay, guys, I had the craziest idea. We have the intersection piece, and I said I wanted to do a narrow gauge section here, and I wanted to have hills here. What if we had the narrow gauge section be kind of hilly, like the Blue Mountain Quarry? And what if we used the intersection piece to connect the big hill to the quarry hill? That's something I don't think I've ever tried before. So let's try that. That could be super cool. But first, let's get a couple more sort of generic track pieces down. Generic, you know, let's get our destinations in. We got a lot of this fossil delivery stuff and a lot of this airport stuff because those are just two of the tracks I have. So maybe we could have this bumpy track. What if one of the lines is just a dead end? Maybe we could have, can we have the Bay Bridge pass over something? And I want to save a lot of the ascending track for later, but no, that's too low. Okay. Because I think maybe something has to happen with this line. Well. Oh, I have buffers. We could just use buffers. Do I have buffers for both directions? If not, that's going to be a problem. Yep, I do. Okay. Let's use our buffers to... Oh, I know! We're talking about all the dinosaur stuff. Let's use our buffers to stop anyone who accidentally goes to the dinosaurs. But, no, see, that's still too close. Okay. Well, the good thing about the Quarry Mine Tunnel is that it's kind of a bridge. So what if we get a piece of track long enough? Can we do this without a riser? Yeah. No. Okay. All right. Then here, you know what? Screw it. Tidmouth, you could be dinosaur line now. No, I don't like that. Okay, hold on. We got to do the airport. We got to do... Oh, we have so much to incorporate. So I was remembering my idea for the caves, and why not have the cave area be where the dinosaur stuff is? So, I don't know what to do with the thing that says that the museum's coming up, but what we could do, instead of having buffers, we could have an off-ramp, like someone ends up in the dinosaur area and gets lost. That's what we could do. And we could have the bumpy track along the way. But first, we'll need some straights because you are by Tidmouth and I want to have it be kind of out of the way. That's a problem. That is a problem. We don't have that kind of adapter unless we want to use the weird like flexi track thing. So what we'll do instead, just get a long straight track, okay? And we'll connect it all this way. So, ooh, you're going along, but now the track is weirdly bumpy, which is strange. I don't know why. Maybe because there's a dinosaur underneath? Nobody tell John Hammond. No one tell Universal. They'll make 20 movies about it. And now, look at this. Now, we have this strange, mysterious, bumpy track that goes right into the cave. And in the cave, there's a sudden incline, which ends in a dinosaur. And that ends in an off-ramp, where somebody unlucky may just get stuck there. So, sucks to be you. Okay, so Tidmouth Station is really awkward over there, isn't it? So let's connect it to Thomas's line. Oh, please tell me. Nope, we have none of these plastic pieces. Great. So we just got a thing that just does not work. Cool. You have a broken piece. Okay. Great. That's just great. Again, this snapped off very easily. That's why they're screwed now. But really, the one who's screwed now is me. So I'm thinking... There we go. Oh, I knocked over the water tower. Okay. Something like that? No. Okay. If we get some longer pieces, maybe just a slightly longer piece, we get our curve in here. If we get another short curve, see, the math here is crazy because everything lines up if you just use the right pieces. Or push a little. Okay, so we're gonna need a slightly longer piece. Got one right here. Yeah, no, this is not gonna line up well. Unless, nope. We're gonna need one in the middle of those two sizes and perfect. Look at that, it's insert Kronk meme here. It's all coming together. I just want to take a moment and just step back and look at this. We got a railway going on with story elements and missing pieces of track with magnets on their sides. And I think it's looking good. Okay guys, I found the magnetic piece of track, which means we can now connect the water tower and close the loop here for our Thomas branch line section. I wish the water tower were facing the other way, but it's all good. So this whole back half of the line is good. So now, okay, I want to do the recycling center. I want to do the bridge. I mean, I want to do everything. I want to put everything we have in here. So let's do a little airport section. Airport junction this way. So let's have that abide by the sign. I don't know if we can do that without an adapter, so let's have the airport sign be pointing, let's put the airport, like, I guess there. Now, luckily for us, the airport is just a giant box and it's not track, which is both great and really stupid. So, is that now pointing the right way? If we just turn that, or here, let's have it be, so airport junction can be here, airport itself, he could fly right into the wall. No, hold on, okay. Let's get back to that. We have our recycling center track. Okay, here, ready? Here's what we're gonna do. This track is going to go to the airport junction. Congratulations, you're going to the airport. And the airport, you know what, you'd want a good straight track piece here because you'd want your engines to be dropping people off at the airport. We are running out of straight pieces, but that's okay. Put one of roughly this size there. And yeah, people can have the airport here. See? They could be famously, as all airports do, dropped off right at the runway. Okay. So here is Jeremy's shed, aka the Sodor Airport. So yeah, they could be dropped off at the airport. Let's make some space so people can be dropped off. Jeremy can take off from here, and when you take off, you get a nice scenic view of the mountains that will be over there. So that does mean we're gonna have to close this loop so it doesn't interfere with the airport, and that just makes me wonder, what is the point of this loop then, right? Obviously, this track now takes people to the airport, but what about you? So maybe, well, we could have the airport control tower, of course, as well as maybe a stop and go station. Maybe this line can go to the recycling center. But you're also going to need a road for that, so maybe not. Maybe this line could go to the museum and their new dinosaur exhibit, and we just don't see it yet. I just realized that makes no sense because it has to be a closed loop, so it would just take you back there. So I think what we do instead, well, we could divert the track and send it around where Jeremy goes. And yeah, I don't know what to do with the museum. Let's replace the museum one with just a regular stop and go station. Why you'd have to stop and or go here, I don't know. Maybe it's clearance from being near the turntable or something like that. You can go to the docks, and you can go to the recycling center, and you can go and meet with the stop and go station. You guys can hang out, have lunch, get married, have 27 children. Name each of them after Thomas characters. This is my son, D199. Oh, sick. Have you met my son, Big World, Big Adventures Season 2? Nah, but I think he sucks. Oh, that's really mean. I haven't even met my son. Okay. All right, we are getting, say it with me, somewhere maybe. Somewhere. Maybe. We're getting somewhere. All right. Okay. Switch direction with one of these guys. Okay. We're gonna need one of those insanely short track pieces. And can we connect them? Yeah. All right, so that track is useless. Well, no, so, okay, the fire engine can go here, turn around, get turned around on the turntable. It's just a long, complicated route for it to switch directions. But now what we're gonna do, okay. Let's have, okay, hold on. What switches are left? What switches? Did we use all the switches except the broken one? No, we got one right here. Okay. All right. Okay. We got to do the docks. Got to do the docks. We got to do the recycling center. But the recycling center has both a rail and road section. Okay. Okay. But I forgot that this also has a connector that we didn't use. So let's have some fun. This beat is sick. I'm not saying the rest of that lyric. Now screw it. Buffer. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't want two of my only destinations to be that close together. You got a buffer. Congratulations. Get buffered, idiot. Okay, guys, I'm gonna cut the camera so I can come up with a plan. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've decided that I'm gonna put the docks on this line and the recycling center on this one. That is what we're gonna do here. So, in order to do that, let's see. Okay, so we're gonna need this to be turned away, and then we're gonna need a double-sided adapter. Okay, and we're gonna need the docks, and we're gonna need these two tracks to not meet. So let's get a sharp curve going on here, or they can conjoin with an intersection and become one, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I mean with a switch, sorry. But can we successfully divert these tracks? I think probably. Can we get them? Would be smarter, right? Big curve, then little curve. Would probably be a much smarter idea. So, there you go. Jeremy, you got space, buddy? Okay, so there we go. You know what? I think this is good. Okay. Yeah, we could put the recycling center right next to the ocean. That won't cause problems. That won't incentivize people to litter. What are you talking about? Maybe that's like a genius strategy, right? Put the recycling center right by water, right by the ocean, so no one litters in the ocean. They just go straight over to the recycling center. That's literally next door. Absolute genius, guys. I'm so smart. I'm going to become an industrial planner right after this video. I will apply. That's what I'll do with my life. That's it. So we have almost no straight track left. So yeah, that's okay. But one piece of straight track we do have left is the one that connects to the recycling center. Now the recycling center, remember, also has a road section where we're gonna need to use one of our final pieces of straight track. But I think instead we'll just use this little road ramp, and yeah, that'll be fine. Lorry 1 doesn't deserve anything anyway. There we go, see? So this line can end, or it can loop back around. I don't really know if we have a good way for it to end, because both the buffers and the ramp left are, you know, a whole side, not a peg side. Oh, you know, we got a decent amount of straight track left, actually. Okay, we got to end this line too. Maybe it could loop. Would that be a bad idea? Then what about the recycling center line? Okay. So we have one functioning switch left. So what if the docks line and the recycling center line eventually connect, and they could both meet up like roughly here, and they can become one line. That's what we could do. And you know what? By the docks, we could have the Bay Bridge as well. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. docks can go around here. Look at that, the docks are near the airport. So you could go on vacation. Okay, hold on. So if they meet, I'm getting confused. Okay. Okay, all right. So Bay Bridge is a good thing to implement when we don't have too many straight tracks left. But let's put the docks further down the line. Okay. And we have 3 of these left. Okay, so we could use them because we're gonna need them here. We're gonna need them in several places, quite frankly, to make the docks work successfully. And I'm so upset that that piece is broken because that could be pretty useful here. So the docks line can eventually, we're gonna need another piece here, eventually meet this line. And then it can end in the ocean. Is there any place we could use a connector like this, though? I don't think so, because we're gonna need one of our other adapters. Unless there's some sort of secret other switch that I didn't see before, which unfortunately is not gonna be the case. Okay. So, the docks can end in a very inconvenient off-ramp if you want to push something in the ocean. It could just be, here, the line can be just broken down here by the docks. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking this line is useless if it connects straight to the dock. So let's have the docks before the track switch. Let's have the docks before the track switch so that this line actually has a need to exist. Okay, so ascending track for the Bay Bridge. There we go. And give me one of our straight tracks, good sir. Here we go. See, the docks are by the furnace because, you know, it's the beach, so hot. Good stuff. Okay, ascending track. Are we down to only 4 ascending track? That's not ideal for the risers, but that's okay, because that's basically, well, that's all we have. So. Oh, this doesn't connect to something. I don't remember that. That's not good. That doesn't connect to something without a riser? Okay. How do we do this? Okay. All right. We'll just balance, right? That should work fine. We'll just balance it. I don't want to waste a riser here. Yeah, wait, what a stupid design. Why? Oh my gosh. The random wooden wedge, that's where it goes. Look, it fits under here. Random wooden wedge, finally. How's that for setup and payoff? Okay, finally, the random wooden wedge. And with that, and just a little, now we're gonna need another curve. But with that, you got it. Actually, oh wait, hold on, this isn't connected to anything. So we could just connect it however we want. All right. Now, it's connected. Now we're good to go. I'm just gonna need a straight track here. And, or a couple, because again, we don't have too many left. There we go. You'll need another straight track of that length. And we're gonna connect everything to this piece. There we go. It's a little tight again, but hey, we are working with what we have, and I'm liking what we have. So let's actually just add one more piece so it's a little less tight, just to be nice. Okay. We got 2 more adapters. I just want to figure out how to end this. Actually, if we flip this around, we have a long straight piece and an adapter. So let's do exactly that. Actually, we don't need that right here. Never mind. Oh no, sorry. I meant for afterwards. Because we need. I just really like the concept of the docks line ends with you falling into the ocean. We don't have another switch. Oh, the line's out. So you're screwed. No, I think it should end in buffers, actually. Just to be nicer to everyone. How you get turned around here? Well, you back up and you go on the entire other line backwards. I didn't say I was being realistic, guys. I just said I was making a train track. No, we've got a lot of curves left. So, okay, guys, so I came up with a different idea, and that idea was to quite simply make a loop. But I ended up still using both the switch and the adapter. I do have an idea now. We're gonna make a little siding there using one of our final pieces of straight track to pull that off. Actually, this is, I think, our last long straight, so let's put it somewhere where it's gonna be a little more necessary. We could make just like a good siding, and that siding can end in disaster. No, I have plans for this piece, actually. But we could do something fun. Or, ooh, maybe the line here is out, so be careful or you'll fall in the ocean. But for now, you know, you could go here. You could rest a bit. Yeah, there we go. Or maybe this goes nowhere. So we have a couple more straights left, including the gold one, which I think I think it needs a special place. I'm not sure where. Not sure where. But we are finally at the point in time where it's time to make our giant mountain. So let's go and let's make a giant mountain. I'm so excited. Let's make a giant mountain, guys. Now we only have 4 ascending tracks left, so I am gonna make a small change to allow us to have another one. I considered not using the Bay Bridge, but I do want to use that just so that we could use all of our pieces. So let's instead, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take an adapter here, and we're actually gonna flip the mine tunnel around, which is something that you could do, of course. It's not really the intended play feature, but again, you can go up with it and it works as an ascending piece. And then we are going to take the off-ramp, put it here, put it at the top of the hill. And now, guys, we're gonna build a mountain. Okay, so I've built out our 2 tracks here, finally found a nice, good, clean area to display our golden track piece, and we also have our little miniature narrow gauge section, complete with Colin there, working at, I guess that's the wharf he works at. Sure, let's go with that. And of course, our sections are eventually going to meet up on a massive, massive hill. So let's use some of our risers here. And yeah, they're gonna go up another level. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we want them to meet at the intersection. We're not close enough to have that yet, but we do have the ability to do that. It's a bit early in the track, I think. I think it'd be cool if they met higher, but I'm not sure with the space we have if that's a possibility. We only have, again, what, 3 more risers left anyway? So let's, right? So we got rid of that riser. We had 4. So we should have 5 total, but I'm not seeing the other one. This is just Ty blanks out on having functioning eyes. There it is. I just put it with the other one. All right. Yeah. So, okay. So, okay. Here's the plan. Check this out. We are gonna do the intersection here a bit early on, but that's okay. We'll use a straight track here. We'll put risers on either side of this. We'll also use, we're gonna want to make sure the bottom piece of the intersection is the one connected to the risers so that it's good and secure, because again, these pieces stack up on top of each other. Okay. So now we've used those 2 pieces, as well as this, and we'll get a straight piece. Hopefully we have a straight piece left that's that length to connect them. These should be fine, I guess. If not, I'll grab 2, just in case. Yeah, we're gonna need 2 of them. Or we could use a longer piece. Let's get a longer piece. We have like 1. This one might be a bit too long. It's fine. Okay. Now, let's switch over. No, we're good. I was gonna switch over to our other type of riser, but I think we're okay. Yep. Okay, there we go. All right, now I forgot to close that line. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we are getting somewhere. Hopefully we can keep getting there. Guys, I can't believe I'm saying this, but in order to make what I want to work, we need this thing. In fact, we need it in the opposite direction. That's the only way that the mountain is gonna work successfully. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna need this, and we're gonna place it, it's gonna look ugly, but we're gonna place it here. And you know what? It's right next to another special track piece. It's right next to the gold one, so it's fine. We're gonna do some flipping for everything here, except Colin. Colin can be as he is. It's okay, Colin. One day, you'll get to go to a party. I don't remember that episode. But at one point, I did remember that episode, and that's why I wrote it. That is the wrong way to flip it. That's a road. How funny would it be if we just put one road here randomly? Okay, so now we have our first ascending track. Okay. And... Okay. Work everything here. This is all working out just fine. We just need straight track again. Connected. Oh. Connected here and here. And use our other riser right here. Okay. This is a bad idea from the concept of needing risers, but it's okay. Maybe this is a bad idea, period. But now we get another piece of ascending track, and we descend. We peacefully descend here. But on this side, there's not going to be a peaceful descent, because I have a plan, guys. I got a plan I'm very excited about. A plan I haven't shared with you just yet, and that plan is quite simple. That plan is, I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point, right? I just want to make a cliff. I just want to make a giant cliff to nowhere. And this is not going to stack high enough, but that's okay. That is why I needed... Oh, we got more risers! Yes! Okay, we don't have more of the regular wood pieces for the risers, but we could just fake it till we make it and stack the plastic pieces and the top pieces until we get, I'm sorry, to the proper height for our stupid cliff. Okay. Now, we've got our stupid cliff. And over here, we have nothing. Yeah, so, okay. Those who dare will take the stupid path. Those who don't dare will run into a wall. Oh, we can connect this to this. Yes. Oh, yeah. This is perfect. Oh, what a perfect coincidence, guys. I was fully ready to just be like, it's going to go on the wall. I had a whole joke where I was going to claim it was the magic buffers. But this we could do if we have enough track, because this is all we have left. But would you look at that? I forgot a destination. Congratulations, random track, you're Knapford now. All right, now, hopefully, we have enough. Hopefully. No, we're going to do it, guys. We're going to do it. Rebellions are built on hope, okay? So, we're going to do it. We should have just barely enough. And we'll put the Knapford tunnel, why do I keep calling it a bridge? Knapford tunnel there to ensure that nobody gets hit by falling debris. And with that, guys, we're going to be cutting it really close. Like very, 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 very close. And we're out. We're out. Okay. We got to steal from somewhere. But where? we just need a couple more curves. That's a lot of curves. Let's steal from there. In fact, we could successfully steal from here if we cut out. Could we? Looks like this will only save us no curves. This doesn't save us anything. Okay. What if we, I really like this little rest area, but what if we remove the adapter, use a short straight here, and have them meet. We do, shockingly, have more straights than curves. Than I was not expecting us to have leftover straight track. But we can successfully, maybe, if we push them together a little bit, just go a little further, a little bit further. Use our weird broken track here. That should give us just enough. Hold on. Then we have no way to end this track. But we do, because look at this. Doing what we did saves us an adapter. Guys, what an ending. We got it all figured out. And they could even maybe like kind of turn directions if they're facing the wrong way here, you know, I don't know, maybe. But with that, we saved so many curves. We can now successfully close our loop with the help of these very, very, very helpful super short straight tracks. I think we may need those. Actually, no, we don't. It's a little tight here. Maybe we use one super short piece. And that leaves us with this. A fully closed circuit, except the part that's broken. It's done, guys. We have everything with these tracks left over. So I am going to, you know what? We'll come right back over here and we'll add a little more, just a little more, if possible, because adding some more track here could hopefully give us a bit of a larger spot for Cranky, who, of course, hasn't been added yet. So if we do that, now we have a bit of a bigger dock setup, and we also have a larger rest area where, again, hopefully someone can maybe get themselves turned the right way. And now we have a full setup. Just needs Cranky. All right, guys, our layout is all done. I've added in some accessories, Sir Topham Hat and a cow over here, some trees on Thomas's branch line, railroad crossing signs where appropriate, as well as the stop and not allowed signs over here. And I also realized that we didn't use 2 of the 3 stop and go stations, so I put the museum exhibit 1 here by Thomas. Maybe we could say that the exhibit's on his branch line, that's why he and Stepney are involved. And I put another one by the fire station. I thought maybe it would be fitting, some extra precaution by the fire station. But now, before we end the video, I have 2 things left to do. First, I want to take a tour, and I'm going to take a tour with my guy Toby. My favorite character. So if Toby here starts off in the shed, wow, wait. Oh, I haven't done this in so long. Just running him down, train track. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. So satisfying to just fit in those grooves. Toby comes out of the shed and he goes on the turntable. And up first, he decides he wants to go on Thomas's branch line. So he goes to Thomas's branch line. Maybe he fills up on some water and he goes along his merry way up the Marin Bridge and back down again before turning back onto the turntable to go another way. Of course, he could also go to Tidmouth and hit the station, apparently, and from Tidmouth, go to Thomas's branch line and repeat the entire process. But he doesn't want to do that, so don't make him. Too late, he already did, I guess. Of course, this way is our very treacherous path. He goes past here, ignores Sir Topham Hatt's warning. Oh, I didn't get the bump sign. That's okay. He goes on the bumpy track, and on more bumpy track, and eventually, uh-oh, it's the dinosaur. And he goes here, and he better be careful, or else he'll come clean off the track. I was not planning on that. Or else he'll come clean off the track. But Toby doesn't want to do that. So he can go back here, and he could go on this line. But of course, this is the fire station line, as you can see. Toby wants to work as a volunteer firefighter. Race and rescue Toby when? Of course, we also have the car path. So there you go. This, of course, also loops back in past the bridge, which is once again missing its hat thing. And he goes here. Of course, Toby could also take this line and go for a much longer journey over to the docks. If he so chooses, he'd go down here, past the docks, past the drawbridge. Maybe it goes up or not. And Toby goes on by, passes by Cranky, and of course, he then can go to our weird little dead end area where he could rest or, I don't know, go in another dimension. I've decided that if you go past here, he gets teleported somewhere. Of course, there is no way for Toby to turn around here, so he's going to have to do quite a bit backwards, but luckily for him, Cranky's here. Of course, you could just go on the track backwards, but it's okay. We're going to cheat with Cranky. Cranky, get him. Thank you, Cranky. That's really the biggest flaw in our layout here. We, of course, have the airport junction tunnel. Toby could go by the airport, go up here, past another drawbridge. A lot of drawbridges for Toby today. And go down this way. He could stop or not. Go back down onto the turntable. And, of course, choose his next path. Toby will go here. This is the narrow gauge line, we'll say, so Toby shouldn't canonically fit here, but it's okay. If Toby wants to go on the normal track, he could take this line instead. But for the purposes of the demonstration, narrow gauge, narrow gauge, narrow gauge, narrow gauge, hi Colin, go to a party, you loser. He goes up here to the intersection. There's no riser here, so it's already pretty unstable, and it's about to get a lot more unstable because, oh my gosh, I just realized that I accidentally gave the narrow gauge engines a death drop and nothing else. But it's okay. They're brave old men. They could survive. They've also got Colin over here. Let's say this whole section is narrow gauge. Let's just be nice. Of course, we also have the recycling center path and the Golden Railway path. If Toby wants to go back on the turntable, he could take this path instead and safely navigate, or not. And of course, if he's carrying the recycling cars, he can go on up to the recycling center and drop them off, or maybe a truck can, or maybe like if this is narrow gauge Madge, who knows? And with all of that said and done, Toby, who's clearly exhausted, can go on back home, sweet home. I know Toby canonically doesn't live in Tim's sheds, I don't think, but for now, he can go back. Now, with all that, guys, before I put these Thomas toys away again for who knows how long, there's one more thing I want to do. We've got a great layout, a great lineup of characters. There's only one more thing we can do. These are toys. Let's play with them. Now that I have everything all set up, I want to make my very own custom Thomas episode. I want to use my classic style of humor that I use in my Cars videos and such. And yeah, I'm very excited about this. I also have the perfect plot in mind. I think you guys are gonna love it. It's a perfect way to end this video. And it's all gonna start with Toby right here. My favorite engine on my favorite track piece. T-Tour Reviews Time presents Thomas Adventures, Episode 1. Colin goes to a party. It was a beautiful day on the island of Sodor. One of those lovely days where everything seems right and everyone seems happy. But over on the railway's narrow gauge line, someone wasn't. Well, Madge, here you go. Here's your daily dose of recyclables. Thanks, Colin. No problem. All right, well, I'd love to stay and chat, but I better get going. They're throwing a big birthday bash for me later. A birthday bash? Yeah. Wow, that sounds nice. It sure is. It's going to be a big party celebrating me. Oh, man. I wish I could go to a party. Well, you are a stationary crane, so you can't. Sorry. Oh, man. I can't believe he thinks he could. Lori, did you hear that? Colin really thinks he could go to a party. And my party. What a loser. Shut up, Madge. Me show's on. I'm trying to watch The Bachelorette back here. You never should have installed that TV. Ugh. Never do your work. You're not invited to my party. Deliberately. Unlike Colin, stupid crane. He can't move anywhere. He can't do anything. Ha 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 ha. But while Lori and Madge didn't seem to care about Colin, someone did. Peter Sam overheard. And he wanted to make things right. Colin's never been to a party. Well, that's not right. He should go to one. He's a great guy. People would love to have him around. Later that day, the narrow gauge engines got to talking. I think we need to throw Colin a party. He's so nice and does so much for us all the time. Yeah, but what if we bring Colin to a party instead of bringing the party to him? How so? Well, Madge is having a birthday party tonight, right? Yeah, and Madge is, well, you know how she could be. Yeah. I think that we should invite Colin to the party. Are you just trying to stir up drama? No. We could show Madge that Colin deserves to go to a party by bringing him to hers. Yeah, and if we do that, we get to see Madge. What? We get to see Madge, she's kind of a jerk, but she's kind of the best person I've ever met in my entire life, and I think that maybe I should see her more often. What? Did you just take the recycling pickup job every day so you could see Madge, you little creep? Maybe, but I did you crash last week so that Madge could carry you on her flatbed? Yes! Okay. Well then. I want to go to a party too, said Smudger, the living battery. Shut up, Smudger, said Ivo Hugh, nobody's favorite character. The narrow gauge engines had to find a way to move Colin. Their first idea was simple, Cranky the Crane. But they couldn't contact Cranky. He was on the regular line and they were narrow gauge. They needed to find an engine who could go and talk to Cranky. Luckily for them, the narrow gauge line crossed over with the main line at a few places. Unfortunately for them, the nearest intersection was at a very bad place. But once again, luckily for them, well, a good situation was about to come. Unluckily for them, that situation involved somebody else getting insanely hurt. Ah! Ah! Screamed Charlie, clearly in pain. Ah! Somebody help! Somebody help! Ah! 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 Whoa! Hey, Charlie, what's going on? Guys, help! This Chinese dragon! It was supposed to go to the Chinese New Year party that we're having in a couple days, but it's chasing me! I think it's alive! I need to get rid of it! Ah! 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 Oh! Ooh, well, that's not good. It didn't take long until Percy arrived with the breakdown train. Oh man, I can't believe this happened. I was just supposed to have a nice, peaceful day, moving stuff to and from the mine, but now I'm on breakdown train duty. Hey, Percy! Hey, Peter Sam! You don't usually pull the breakdown train, right? Yeah. No, I don't, but I have to be put on special duty today. Everyone else is getting ready for Madge's birthday party. Oh, isn't Madge the best? What? Hey, Percy, said Rusty. Look, man, we need your help. Yeah, what is it? We need you to go to the docks and ask Cranky if he can move Colin the crane. What? Why? Well, Madge was making fun of Colin. He said he's never been to a party. Okay. We want her to come to his. Okay, and in order to do that, well, we need to move him somehow. Yeah, sure, I could go to Cranky or get someone to go to Cranky. Sure, yeah. All right, breakdown train, do your stuff. Rescue Charlie. I'm getting too old for this. Percy went to Timoth's sheds and told his friends everything. Bring Colin to a party? Well, I hate to say it, but I think parties are very overrated. Don't listen to Gordon, said Henry. He's just upset because he's never been invited to a party either. Yeah, I wonder why. Well, I don't think he needs to go to a crummy party, just like how I don't. People like Colin and I, we're too good for parties. Well, guys, I'm off to go and contact Cranky and see if Cranky can move Colin. Edward was about to speak, but before he could, Percy was gone. Wait, Percy! If Cranky's gonna move Colin, who's gonna move Cranky? Oh, good point. Hold on. So, my spotless record says, I gotta go to Cranky! Percy, my friend, where are you going in such a rush? Asked Hero. Obviously, you could see that's Hero right there. I'm sorry, Hero. I have no time to talk. I gotta go to Cranky. You see, we're inviting Colin to Madge's birthday party, and it's only in a couple hours, so I gotta go super speedy fast. Okay, Percy, good luck. Don't get in any trouble. Don't worry, Hero. I won't. Hey, Percy! Percy, wait! You can't move Colin with Cranky. Cranky's also a crane! Percy, wait! But it was too late. Thomas, trying to catch up to Percy, accidentally ended up bumping into him. And both of them flew through the stop sign at high speed, bumping into the jet fuel and jet engine that had accidentally fallen onto the track earlier that day. Wait, what? Yeah, those aren't even from this toy line. Ah! The crash caused a massive fire, and Percy was completely covered in head to toe in bright orange flames. Oh no! Help! Help! Thomas, meanwhile, had gone to a better place. No, he didn't die. He just successfully moved to the other track while the explosion was happening. He got blown to the side. So he's good. He's fine. But not for long! Here comes Harvey! Thomas, look out! Thomas was hit by Harvey and ended up crashing into a barrel of paint. Ugh. And the station master's house while he was eating breakfast. Luckily, the fire truck came to Percy. Unfortunately, it was all out of water. Even worse, I got all these toys before Flynn and Bell existed, so there were no other fire engines on the railway. Things were looking terrible for Thomas and Percy. Percy on fire and Thomas doing whatever that is. But that's when Thomas realized something. Hey, Molly, huh? Are you in the one-offs using those recycling cars? No, why? I need to borrow those tires. In that moment, Thomas became more than the average engine. Hey, I want peace and quiet. Sorry. In that moment, Thomas became more than the average engine. He is Super Thomas. He can do anything in the universe. He can clone himself and his friends. He could even take them back through time. He can make it snow all night. All the lady love him. And he can get rid of all the bad guys. He is Super Thomas. Ha! In your face, Birdie! What? Whoosh! With one gust of super cold breath, Thomas saved Percy. But it was too late. Much of the fire had already melted Percy, showcasing the original brown wood underneath. I'll live. Whew, that was a close one. If I didn't become Super Thomas, I would have to empty all the water from these aquarium cars and dump it on him. All right, guys, see you around. I'm off to save a birthday party. He is Super Thomas. He can do anything in the universe. Hey, Colin, alone on a Friday night? Pathetic. You're going to a party. Up, and over to the other side of the island. Wait, what? You did it, Super Thomas. You brought Colin right here to Madge's birthday party, and I've never had more fun. Huh. Maybe I was wrong about you, Colin. You can make it to a party. Thanks, Super Thomas. And thanks for bringing Colin here. So, Madge, what do you say the two of us... Ew! What are you implying? Well, I was like, the two of us would go on a date. No! You're a train. I'm a flatbed. Ew, no. Ew. No, screw this. I'm leaving my own birthday party because of that one. Well, more cake for me. And everyone lived happily ever after on the island of Sodor. Well, pretty much. Oh man, my boiler's really acting up again. I feel like it's gonna explode any second. Oh boy, sure hope it doesn't explode next to that jet fuel. Uh-oh. And there you have it, guys. This is me returning to my Thomas Wooden Railway collection for the first time in years. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had so much fun playing with all these, taking them out, looking at them with you guys. I turned on the fog car again. Ignore it. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you want to see me talk about these again in the future. Who knows? Maybe I'll pick up some more items. See you guys next time. Bye now. Madge, to celebrate your birthday, I've brought the fog car to sing the happy birthday song. Take it away, fog car. Isn't it wonderful?